I still haven't changed that quote at the end because I still keep forgetting. I don't know. And I just got swallowed the wrong way some coffee and got a cough the moment the camera went live. Excuse me. Hey everyone, hello. Welcome one and all. Welcome. It is Sunday. It is time for some Warhammer Sunday. That time of the week when I just crack on and do some work on whatever Warhammer I'm building at the time. Could be part of my army, could be other stuff I need to paint later on, but I want to get built now. So welcome one and all. We are carrying on with the Space Wolves that we've been doing. Before we get going though, we'll do a quick shout out to everybody, but before we do it, wait a minute. Coffee, hang on. I need coffee. Right, yes, before we do the shout-outs to them, I need to do quick shout-outs to all the people that support this channel. First of all, my beautiful, lovely, wonderful, warm and fluffy patrons and channel members who became patrons by going to patreon.com/modelmaking. The address is down there. Or they became channel members by pressing the join button under any one of my videos or live streams. All those people support this channel directly each month. They pay my wages, they keep the channel alive, keep the lights on, they literally keep food on my table. So big, massive thank you to them. Without them, this channel wouldn't exist. So thank you to them, and we should all thank them very nicely. If you'd like to become a patron, again, the address is there, patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or click the join button. Either way, you're helping keep the channel alive. And of course, to my corporate supporters, emodels.co.uk and goblingaming.co.uk, both your one-stop shops for all your model making and tabletop gaming needs. Links in the description to both those stores. If you need to pick up some tabletop stuff or just some modelling supplies, do use those links. It tells them I sent you, and I get some income from that. It doesn't cost you anything, but I get some income from that. So please do use those links if you can. So welcome one and all. We'll have a quick look through chat, and then we'll see what's been going on. We'll crack on with some work. I'll move Guthorm out of the way, because I need to do the scrolling of the chat now. Guthorm and Squishy are here. They're just off camera, so but let's have a look and see. Now, I was having trouble atting people in chat for some reason. I couldn't reply to them and say at hello or whatever, so I'll go through the chat quickly now. Wendy Hickson and Scale Model Muse were in very early. To welcome to both of you. You can see that Wendy Hickson and Quanoman also is in. Wendy and Quanoman, as an example, are channel members. You can tell because they've got a colourful name and a little symbol after their name. So welcome to both of them, and to Scale Model Muse as well. Frankie Goes Hobbywood is in. Welcome, Frankie. Hello. Welcome, my friend. William Rayborn is in. David Sanderson, another channel member, is in. Mayhem Model Works is in. More doggos. Ray Aquilina from Malta is in. Hello, my friends. Happy Easter to all friends. Happy Easter to you too. Ray, welcome. Who else do we have in? The Raging Modeler says thwip, which means he's entered the room, usually with a flash and a slight smell of slightly burnt hair. But welcome to the Raging Modeler. We have Muse. We've done Muse already. We have Mayhem Model Works as well is in. Welcome to you. Scaly Models, of course, is one of your channel moderators. Dad over at Scaly Models, one of your moderators. They're lovely, they're fluffy, they'll keep you safe, they'll keep you warm and protected, but if you cross them, they'll eat you alive after coating you in bees. So don't cross the mods. So big massive dad hugs to Dad. Lynn Dipple is in, says, "What up? Not me. I want to go back to bed, but I'm not. Thank you for your dedication, Lynn, for sticking around while you should be asleep. But you can go to sleep if you need it." Where Panzer Koenig is in. We have welcome to Panzer. I keep going up at the end of my sentences like I'm Australian. G'day, bro. Today we're going to speak with an Australian accent and annoy all the Australians, because this is probably the worst Australian accent in the world. But we're going to go up at the end of sentences like this, you see. It's really... I'm going to stop that now. Sorry. Muse, David Sanderson is in. We have... Who else? Michael Storman's in. Welcome, Michael. Hello to you. Max McGinn, welcome to you as well. Or as Colin called you, Max McGuinn. I don't know why he adds... Colin likes to add letters to things. That's just the way he is. We love him for it. So you are officially now Max McGuinn, no matter what you actually want. It's no choice in that matter. Lynn Dipple. Max McGinn put some pictures up of some of the... I assume it's... is it Forza Motorsport or something? You've been doing custom decals for the cars in the game, and included a picture of a lime green Hemi Cuda with the back bumblebee stripes. Oh, yeah, on Colin's live stream. Colin does a live stream on Festa 67's workshop before I go live. It was him and Dad today, and not Dave, because Dave's away doing stuff. And included in all these shots of all these cars was a Plymouth Hemi Cuda, lime green, proper lime green, bumblebee stripes in black. Oh, 440 Hemicuda. Get in. Moist trouser tent time. My favourite muscle car. Nim's in. Nim says, I'm here. Just been working on my high-grade Zaku palette cleanser. Yep, you decided to go for the Zaku. Good choice. Good choice. Quantum Man has refilled his coffee bucket, but I'm still only half alive. You need more coffee. Lynn says hello to Guthorm. Says nice glasses. He likes nicking my glasses. He's a right bugger, so he can inspect my work closely. Yes, he's my moderator. He looks at my work and tells me if it's gash or not. He usually just tells me it's gash. Johnny is in. It says, good morning, everybody. Welcome, Johnny. KBZ Doofus. Haven't seen you for a while. He says, hey, everyone. Finally catching one live. It's been a while since you've been, so welcome. Wayne Haywood is with us. And the chat just jumped. If I miss anybody, I do apologise. As you can see, the chat's jumping around like a manic idiot. I don't know where I'm up to now. I'm probably going to miss someone. In Haywood, there we go. Hi all, happy Easter, so welcome Wayne. Go Mine says, greetings, first time more coffee, hang on. I'm talking absolute balls, aren't I? Go Mine says, greetings, first stream I've caught after finding it. Welcome, Go Mine. Thank you very much for subscribing, and welcome. You might see me do some work today. I won't get much done, trust me. Yeah, that's about 8 weeks of work. Just I get like 2 things stuck together on these live streams. I'm more about hanging out with you guys. Welcome. Thank you for coming along. Johnny says hello to Lynn. Lynn says hello to Go Mine. Everybody's saying hello. I think I'm caught up with the chat. Don't cross the mods. What if I accidentally paint one with a blue tick instead? Mayhem Model Works. What's this? Scaly Models. Your microphone sounds great, Fox. Is it the Yeti by any chance? Yes, I may have gently prodded Dad about his microphone on Colin's stream on Friday midnight stream. I was only joking about it, but yes. So, yeah. Your snowball sounds fine. I was only messing around. Where are we? I'll explain to you in a private chat something else I meant when I was talking about it. You will explain later. Pop me a thing in private chat. There's something I need to tell you. Scaly Model says Quantum Man. Because Quantum Man says, oh yeah, but don't cross in the mods. Slow down talking and take a deep breath, says Lynn. I can't. I'm just physically incapable of talking slowly. I don't know. Anyway, I need to wipe my nose already because I've already got the snifflies because the lights have been on for more than 2 minutes. And then we shall crack on with some work. Oh, sniffle. Right. So, now, sniffles. I'm going to be carrying on with my Space Wolves Combat Patrol. As you know, we got that a few weeks ago. And so far, I've built Ragnar Blackmane, or is it Lorcan Throaty something? Not Ragnar Black. Is it? Hang on. This is probably Dad. Could be Colin. Let's find out. I like my snowball, lol, says Dad. I know. I'm going to send Dad a quick message. Hang on. Just so you know, Dad. 1 second. Just do that. I know this is really boring if I do this. 1 second. No. Just want me a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll text you later. I can't text you now. I'll text you later. Anyway. Yeah, so we've been doing the Space Wolves. I've built the... It's not Ragnar Blackman. Where did I get him from? He came with Prophecy of the Wolf. That's right. It's what's his name? Bro Dude Fist Wolf. Lieutenant Haldor Icepelt. That's it. Bro Dude Fist Wolf. I built him and I built this, and we've still got all the Space Marines to do. Before I get going, though, I do need to show you what we're going to be doing after this. Once we've got all these built, all this and all the dudes. Because Mama Fox got me a very nice gift. Now, my patrons and channel members will know about this because I did a little blip date for them and revealed this to be true. But Mama Fox got me a very pleasant gift, very sweet gift that I wasn't expecting. She got me Combat Patrol. I can't show it on camera because it's too big, but Combat Patrol Death Guard. Yeah, she got me that out of the blue. I'm like, oh, she didn't know really what I wanted, but she got me that. And I'm like, yeah, because I've got like half a Death Guard army already. So when we finish these space puppies in about 100 weeks, we'll be building more Poxwalkers. All these Death Guard will be getting built up as well. If you've not seen one of these streams before, basically Sunday, is the time. Somebody just drove past with a very powerful engine. Sunday is my time for actually building and stuff, because I've transitioned away from showing how to build things in my videos, and I'm just showing how to paint stuff, really, unless it's a specific tricky build. And what I tend to do now is use the Sunday stream here to just get Warhammer stuff built up, so that it then sits in a box waiting to be painted in a future video. So I've got boxes full of, like, you know, Astra Militarum vehicles, there's a Bane blade, there's like thousands of dudes, there's all this kind of stuff, there's tons of stuff I need to paint, but it just gives me something to do on a Sunday, gets it all built up. Anyway, the game is called Need for Speed Heat on the Xbox. That's the one. I did see the heat at the top and I thought it was Need for Speed Heat. Don't know why I said Forza. What Death Guard Combat Patrol box is that Typhus dude with the big scythe, says Mayhem. Yes, it is. You get 10,000 Poxwalkers. I've realised now, with these added to the ones I've already got from Conquest and from Cy Reynolds, who sent me a load, I've now got about 90 Poxwalkers. Be a long paint job. You get Typhus, Herald of the Plague God. You get a Biologist Putrefier, and you also get a whole mess of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? I see what they've done there. See, 7. If you look at the Tallyman, 7's an important number for the Tallyman, so that's quite nice. That you get 7 Plague Marines. So it's a really good. You get 39 miniatures basically, which is pretty cool. Which is good because, like in this one, you get I think you get 50. What do you get? 6 in the Space Wolves. You get Space Wolves. You get 17 miniatures, but you do get this thing as well. So yeah, you get the big vehicle. You get my first mobile suit, whatever it's called, my first Gundam. You get, so yeah, 37 miniatures, all Death Guard. I've got a load from Warhammer Conquest, and Cy Reynolds sent me all his from the old Imperium box set, I think it was. I've got all them to do, so yeah, I've got loads. So I've got loads of extras. I can build myself a Death Guard army. I'll have my nice Imperial Guard army, and I'll have my Space Wolves army as well. Bingley Bingley Bee says Mayhem Model Works. Nice Easter egg for Fox. Mama Fox respects, says Frankie. Thank you very much. Yeah, she got me to open some boxes for her because she has trouble opening boxes, and she went, open that one. I'm like, oh. So she was more happy that she got the right thing because she didn't know what to get me. So there you go. Right, so I'm going to take this apart. Now, we've been working on this thing slowly but surely. So on Colin's stream on Friday, because Colin and I do a midnight stream on his channel, which is, of course, Festa 67's workshop. I got the arm built, and what a faff that was, getting the arm built with the hand. I won't be building one of these again. They're not difficult, it's just fiddly and nonsense. I've started on the other arm. So I'm building the other arm today, which is the big weapon, so I'll put that over there, over to the side. I need to send Dad a text. Hang on, let me see if I can do some more typing dead quickly. 1 second. I won't be one moment. I know it's rude, but Dad will appreciate this and he'll laugh at it. There you go. That's a really badly written text, Dad, but I hope it explains something. Anyway, yes. So we've got that arm done. I kind of like the look of the little grabby slappy hand, the hand of Slappity, but yeah, it's a faff to put together because the fingers don't lock into a hole like with a key. It's just they're really loosely, because you can wiggle them around a bit to position them. They really loosely sit in the slot, so it's a bit of a faff to manipulate all. Yeah, you have to have about 5 pairs of hands, but never mind. Anyway, where are we? 4 years. There's Lynn. I don't know why. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Right, so we're going to crack on. So we are building the arm. Now I'm going to build him. As you can see, I built the hand of Slappity like that. So I'm going to have the big bolter is going to be on his leg, which I haven't built that yet. I might do that actually now. Let's do that now because that's easier than building the arm. More exciting. Text away, Fox. I've sent a text now. That text was really badly written, Dad. Hang on. I thought you said you text later. Love you, says Dad. Yes. I was trying to do a thing to dissuade a person from doing a thing. That's why Anyway, never mind. Moving on. Love Dad to bits. Dad's awesome. Anyone ever disses Dad, I just bite their kneecaps. So I built the Slappity hand of Slappity, because you can build the hand with or without the gun. And although it's good to hold the gun, I think it looks better like he's doing like a what do you call it, like a gunslinger thing, where he's like, his hands like that, and he's getting ready to do the midday. I can't get my words out. What's it called when you got two dudes when they're ready to shoot at the stroke of mid? I don't know. That thing anyway. All Wild West things. But so I'm going to put it on his side. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm going to take a minute. Relax. I'm really hyper today. I don't know why. I really don't know. I'm in a really good mood. I'm really super hyper. I've found a pot of... I'm really super hyper and I don't know why. So I'll try not to just be a complete raving idiot. Colin at Festa67's workshop's in. Hey Colin, Festa hugs, Festa hugs, Festa hugs. Duel? No, not a duel. When you've got two cowboys and they're like meet in the middle of town and it's midday and you get the strip of light across the face and the close-up angles and the chewing of the cigar and it's like the hands are like this waiting to draw. High noon kind of thing. I can't remember the phrase anyway. Yeah, high noon. Shut up. Anyway, so let's build this shooty gun. So we need, well, there's basically one part on that entire sprue. I think not that sprue then, is it? We need, this is basically his Robocop gun. I'm going to need E105, I don't need to say either all these sprue, 105, 103 and 104. Okay, so there's 105, 103 and 104. Now these are, they're not exactly thin connection points, but they are really close to the model, so I don't want to, I'm going to have to cut the actual sprue because I can't actually get my clippers in that little gap. I have to do some finagling, I think. Can't get the sprue nippers around that bit of sprue. There we go. One word of warning with these Mr. Hobby, Mr. Tools, Mr. Nippers. By the way, they're beautiful. They're really good nippers. But one word of warning, if you hold it like that and you put them together, your skin will get caught in that little gap there. Number of times I've done that and I've got a flap of skin stuck in there and it's gone, it's really painful. So if you're using Mr. Hobby, Mr. Tools, Mr. Nippers, just don't put your finger like that over the top. If you're used to using, say, other ones where you can do that, just keep your hand like, just don't, trust me, it's a real nip. It nips you like a really toothy animal of some sort. Quite aggressive. 105 we need. 105. I love how the grip of this gun is approximately half as tall as a person. I like that. Kind of cool. Now, yeah, we've got these bits here, and I couldn't quite get the cutters in there while it was attached to the sprue, but hopefully I can get them in now a little bit. I don't want to go right up to the plastic with these because they are really good nippers, but they might leave a little bit of a gap because they're heavy-duty nippers. They're not delicate, poncy ones. If you do find it's difficult to get something into the sprue parts, cut the chunk of sprue out first. Always a good idea. And we've got a little bit of sprue there. I can do that with... No, I can't. Yes, I can. Debating what I can do with my god hands. That's small enough. Right, so we'll get them. Quick draw, says Lynn. That's the one. Yes. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hello, Paul. Big hugs. Oh, don't forget, by the way, folks, I do have the chat here in front of me on the iPad. You can probably see the corner of it. I do, of course, also, though, have the lenses of seeing on because I'm an old fart. And when I put these on, I can see to about here. Everything else is like a background bokeh blur. So if you do want to catch my attention in chat, please do one of three things, because I do depend on you guys for things to talk about. I'm only here for you guys in the chat, really. That doesn't really matter what I'm doing on the screen. Please either put your comment in big fat capital letters so it stands out amongst the blur, or better than that is to actually @ me, so it's @ Model Making Guru, and that will put my name in an orange box and I'll see it because it stands out. If you want to, though, you can also do a super chat, which is a way to get your comment noticed because I can't miss it, and also support the channel at the same time. So if you want to do a super chat, please just click the little, or press on the little dollar symbol that's at the bottom of the chat window. That is a super chat option, and that puts your comment in a coloured box, and there's no physical way I can miss it then because it takes up the whole side of the chat. So yeah, but at the same time you're also supporting the channel because it's a little bit of money, helps pay for food and drinks and things, and you know, not dying of starvation. Keeps the lights on. But you can do one of those three things. Do it in all caps at me, or if you want to, do a super chat. All completely optional, but it's how you'll make sure I don't miss your comment. Now let's get this done. Now I don't know if you will have watched Colin's stream on Friday. I was explaining something on Colin's stream, and I'm trying really hard to do it now. You know, like I started the stream off really hyper. I'm trying to force myself to enjoy the building part of the process. Always said I pretty much prefer the painting part of the process to the building models. And because I don't naturally enjoy the building process as much as painting, I tend to rush through it. But by the same token, of course, while I'm rushing through it, if I'm doing a live stream, I'm talking away at top volume, at top speed, and doing everything fast because I'm in a reluctant mode. So what I'm trying to do is force myself to just slow down with the building, and at the same time, because I'm slowing down with the building, it kind of helps me slow down with the talking and the yattering away at top speed. So I'm trying to go slowly. Hopefully, you probably hear it in my voice as well. I kind of zone in on what I'm doing, so hopefully I'm forcing myself to, you know, start chilling out a bit more. There is a super chat, I can see it. Michael Storman, £5 super chat. It says Happy Easter to all. Thank you very, very much, Michael. You can see the coloured box there. There's no way I can miss that blue box. You can see it there. When you do a super chat, it's a big blue box. You can't miss it. So yes, thank you very much for that, Michael. That's very, very kind of you. That's very awesome. So yeah, I am forcing myself to sort of do slow talking because I want to naturally slow down. I know I talk fast. And I know I'm a bit manic, and I know there's some of you really like that, but there are people that don't like that. And I've always been a bit excitable and, you know, a bit silly, but I'm trying to just chill the F out, basically. So up close. So if you're wondering why it takes me so long to build things, normally it's because I'm slow anyway, but now it's because I'm taking more time to carefully do stuff just so I can try and enjoy it more. Because if I convince myself, if I can relax while I'm building, I'll start to enjoy it more and it'll be more fun. Ooh, talking of being fun, there's a great big gap out all the way around this rifle, this gun. Ooh, the enjoyment suddenly faded. Oh dear. Right, so let's get this glued together. As always, a bit of the extra thins. Do. Right, so as always, I'm going to get some of the extra thin into the little gap, feed it in. We will have some little filling cleanup to do here. Now the gap does go right down the middle of that bit on the top. This little, I don't know what this bit on. Anybody who knows about guns, on the top of the weapons we have this ribbed section. What is that? Is that like some kind of rack system for add-on parts, or is it just? What is it like you get on top of a scar? What is that little rack or little ribbed strip all about? Right, so we're going to have to squeeze this together. Give it a second. Squeeze. I don't want to be too generous because it's going to be difficult to get the little bead of glue out from in the middle of that ribbing. But we'll do what we can. Bit annoying. They could have just moulded this in one or moulded it some other way. But hey, we've got to have some challenges, otherwise it's not interesting. He says, lying through his teeth, because he just wants to be able to glue stuff together and then paint it. It's all lies. Everything should be simple to build with no effort whatsoever. That's my view on the modelling side of things. So that's squeezed together. We'll give that a little bit to dry. In terms of the grip or the butt, I need to clean this up a little bit. I didn't fully clean up the nubs on that on the weapon because I know I've got to sand and clean those top bits. So much as I would do on a tubular object, clean that up as part of the glue cleanup process. I shall have a look at chat in a moment if you'll bear with me. So anyway, I hope everyone is well. Hope you're all well and had a good weekend so far. I don't know if Dad's asked the question, so I shall wait a moment until I start seeing some answers to the important question. But I hope you're all well and having a good weekend. Here in the UK, it is, of course, a bank holiday tomorrow. So if you are back at work, I hope you're actually getting a day off tomorrow. If not, I hope it doesn't go too badly. You've got to do working. I hope you still manage to have some sort of a good day. For a lot of people here in the UK, it's a day off tomorrow. Under normal circumstances, this would have been a 4-day weekend. It's Friday, Monday, bank holidays, Easter bank holiday. So under normal circumstances, when the world's not on fire, everybody would have spent the last 2 or 3 weeks really looking forward to this 4-day weekend, especially people in jobs they hate, like I used to have all the time when I was working in call centres. It was one of the highlights of the year, was the bank holiday Easter weekend. You'd be like, yes, I can have all 4 days off. So much Xbox and beer. Oh, yeah, great. Being able to go to the pub on a Sunday and get absolutely trolleyed because you know you don't have to go to work the next day. But that was back in the before times, obviously. We live in a different time now. It's either heat dissipator or a rail interface system for add-on parts, says Panzerkönig. Cool. I assumed it was potentially something to do with like a rail system. I don't know what it means in the 40k world, but I know they base a lot of their stuff on real world weapons. So. Can I get... Is there a visible mould line? We've got this big chunky grip on the well, grip, I suppose. And the mould line goes right down the middle, but I think I can just about get rid of it with the blade. It seems to be fine enough that a very gentle scrape of the blade gets rid of it. Not very... If it was really thick, that would be a real pain to get that out. I think we've just about got away with it. It does leave a few scratches though using the knife blade, so I will very gently wash a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of extra thin on that just to clean up the little mess left behind by the scrapey. Almost nothing on the brush, it's just damp with the glue. And it just melts off any little fluffy bits of glue coming along. This might take a while before I can clean that up. So I assume it just... Okay, literally just sits on the bottom like that. Okay. That's cool. Well, we'll stick that on now then. It helps. It reduces the amount of area that I've got to do clean up on. So let us attach the grip to the weapon of happiness. I said happiness. Touch of extra thin. Tiniest touch of extra thin. Ted has taught me one thing, is don't use much glue. Make sure it's in the middle. Line it up. Done. That's quite a meaty good gun, that. Meaty good? That's not a real phrase, Fox. It's a meaty good gun. That's that done. I'm going to leave that for a while now because I need that glue to cure a little bit, the little bead of polystyrene, so I can come back and clear it. So we'll put that there. That needs to dry off for a bit. Have a quick look at chat. Fox, that's for plasma weapon effects, says David. No, this is it's not a plasma weapon, that's just a bolt. It's a massive bolter. You get it on top of like the bolter weapons. It's and some of the bolt rifles as well. So I'm guessing it is like a rack system or a heat dissipator, but it's not a plasma weapon. So la 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 la. Where are we up to? David Sanderson says, "Slow down." Oh, you mean chat, not building? I mean both. I need to build. I'm thinking if I can force myself to build slower and not rush through the build, because I'm normally reluctant to do the building bit. If I can build slower, I'll slowly start to appreciate it because I'll calm down and I'll relax and I'll enjoy it. And then hopefully I'll get to the point where I actually enjoy the building part. I have seen the first little glimpses of enjoyable building process when I've been doing my rivets and things and plastic card stuff. So we shall see. Now, we have to build the left arm, which is partly done. Need to do is clean up this bit that I did on Friday. Let's have a look. Muse is still in the kitchen cutting meat for my stew, all the while thinking of certain humans who should be in the pot. Ooh, somebody's in trouble. What's on your bench and what's in your belly, folks? Says Dad, and then apologises for the capitals, but no, it's good. Makes it stand out. For those who need a visual, I have a large cutting block in the centre of the kitchen and my meat knife is a mini machete. Cool. Now all I can think about is the chef in the submarine in Medal of Honor Frontline. Second or third mission. Belly, hot cross bun with jam, and it jumped. I've got to find it again now. It's gone. I've lost it. Fie and thrice fie. There we go. I've lost it again. Where's it go? Oh man, not with it today. Okay, whoever's comment that I started reading, apologies, I can't find it again. Oh no, there we go. Wait, Mayhem Model Works. Belly, hot cross bun with jam and Twix and coffee. Eat more. Belly, bacon and egg roll, says Panzer. Bench, the same pile of paints. Belly undecided, says Bobbins, painting a 148 Tamiya V1 flying bomb. First model I've done in about 3 months. Cool. Nice, simple, but not too simple paint job. Good way to get back into it. Lindipple, Belly Golden Grahams, or Grams, as you guys say. Bench working on part 2 of my video. Cool beans. Muse says, so dinner will be stew and homemade bread, and the bench is still orcs and random minis. Jumped again. Sarah Jane is in. She's about while doing modelling, so I'm muted as I'm here for the chat. Yeah. I'm deeply offended. He is streaming down my face. Hey, Sarah Jane. Philly says Belly is toast and bench is a Necron checkbox. Cannot protect Doomstalker. Yeah, you have to really read the names of Necron stuff because it's like, what? Oh, hello, Phil, by the way. Dredging Modeler says, for no reason whatsoever, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. Shaka, when the walls fell. Timber, his arms wide. I can't remember the guy who has his sails unfurled, but there's one guy with his sails unfurled. Just quoted my favourite episode, says Scale Model Muse. Absolutely, it's everybody's favourite next gen. Well, that and the Inner Light. I think I'd say Darmok is my favourite. It's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere. I've missed the thread here in the conversation, I think. Frankie Ghost Hobbywood is in. Welcome, Frankie. KBZ Doofus is 10:30 on the East Coast. Going to be making some instant Korean ramyun shortly, but Bench is spraying some Alclad on the Corsair. Cool. Ian's Car says, on a bench is the bolter from the McFarlane Primaris Marines, and for dinner is a roast chicken between me and Mum alongside roast potatoes and Yorkshires. We're having roast chicken tomorrow. Because we didn't get out to defrost quick enough. I must actually do my McFarlane Primaris Marine, but I'll have to try and find a guide online as to how to take it apart. I hear it's very easy, but yes. Ian's Car's in. Welcome, Ian's Car. Oh, sniffles. Mayhem, the red car and the blue car had a race, but all Red wants to do is stuff his face. He eats everything he sees, from cars, from trucks to prickly trees. But good old Blue, he took the Milky Way. Oh no, the bridge is out. But good old Blue, he took the Milky Way. If you're outside the UK or you weren't around in the 80s, you'll have no idea what that is. But that song has been stuck in my head for the last hour, you git. Right, so we started doing the arm. I need to clean up the little bit that I built. I built the upper part of the arm. Now, there is a big mould line or a big gap when you build a big seam that goes right around the middle of this bit. But the beauty of it is, on this component here, most of this shoulder part is actually covered up by that armour and the inside. So I've got a little tiny bit here to clean. And then we've just got the seam on the armour part here. So we'll do that quickly now. So on the arm itself, it's just there. And I did the same as I've done before. I just glued them together and squeezed it to get the glue to come out. And that's more than enough to hide the little tiny seam line. So I can use the scraping tool to flatten it out. No one will ever know. Red car and the... No, I can't sing it. That's copyright, you moron. Don't sing it. Oh no, the bridge is out. The guy that did that song for that advert, if anybody doesn't know, it's a Milky Way advert from the 1980s. The guy that did that song I can't remember his name, but he did music. He did so many adverts in the 1980s and 90s. I can't remember his name, but it got to the point where when you see an advert with singing on it, you'd recognise his voice straight away. And I did, in the end, look him up. And he was like super prolific. In the 80s and 90s, there was one guy that did all the music and one guy that did loads of voiceovers for adverts. I remember looking him up because it's that guy again. Can't remember his name. Yes, he got all the work in the world. He's still going. Still does like music for TV and stuff and productions. Excuse me. I do apologise. Now there is a mould line here and it's between two rivets. So what you see me doing is just wetting my thumb and running it over because I'll clean it away and it looks like I've scrabbled the rivets away. But if it's often it's just sanding or cleaning powder that you're scraping powder plastic. So if you just wet your thumb and just smooch it away, you can often see then if you have just kicked up some dust, some plastic dust, and it'll go away. You don't need to redo the rivets because it's easy to mess up the rivets on these things. But by just wetting my thumb and putting it there, I can see, no, I haven't messed up the rivets. They look fine. All is well. Good way just to judge if you need to redo a rivet or not. Because sometimes you get plastic powder builds up and it looks like you've scraped the rivet away, but you haven't. That's that. There's a little one on the bottom here, but there's a rivet right on that joint, so you can't really see it anyway. Burpage. My burp tasted of nothing. Oh, one thing I have learned. I learned this yesterday. If you're in the UK, what you need to do is get yourself, you may know this already, but get yourself basically, go and get some McVitie's Golden Crunch creams. I think the McVitie's absolutely needs to be Golden Crunch creams. Get yourself some Golden Crunch creams and get yourself a great big glass of milk. Either full fat or at best semi-skimmed. Do not do skimmed. Got to be full fat or semi-skimmed. Full fat's even better. And I've done this. This is great with chocolate hobnobs, but I didn't know it was the same with Golden Crunch creams. If you want the most divine taste in the world, put an entire Golden Crunch cream in your mouth, crunch it a little bit just to break it up, and then take a big swig of milk. Obviously, got to be careful drinking and eating at the same time, but trust me, the taste, the flavour is just incredible. If you've got some there now in front of you, do it. You've got some in the house, go and do it and report back in chat. It's almost as nice as chocolate digestives or chocolate hobnobs and a big swig of milk, but it has to be full fat milk or semi-skimmed. You can't do it with skimmed because it needs that flavour. It needs the flavour of the fats. Mayhem Model Works. It's cold outside. There's no kind of I've done that one. Let me fly far away from here. Fun in this. Why are we quoting like I know what we're quoting. From Black Dwarf. No, Red Dwarf. Is it stuck in your head? You're welcome. Rain Haywood says, Belly, bacon and mushrooms on hot cross buns. Ooh, hot cross buns, but with savoury fillings. I like that. Bacon and mushrooms on hot cross buns. Bench Wild West Exodus Posse. Cool. Michael Stallman says, Belly Easter egg and on the bench building chain on Ninja H2R. Very good. Frankie goes to Gary Wellingham, Fox. It may have been Gary Wellingham. It may have been. I can't quite remember. But I remember it was like... Panzer Koenig says, are Crunch Creams not made by Fox? Yes, they might be Fox's biscuits, actually. Of course they're my biscuits. If you've got Golden Crunch Cream and it says Fox's on the front, that's because they're mine. Need to give them back. Yes, they are made by Foxes because Vinny said so. Yeah, they're Foxes, sorry, not McVitie's. Yeah, it might have been Gary Welling. That name does ring a bell. He's just got one of those voices that the moment you hear it, you kind of recognise it everywhere. You're like, oh, it's that guy again. God, he's on everything. And the other one, the other one is it might have been him. There was an advert for some like insurance company. Oh, it was a loan company. I can't remember the company. It was one of those adverts that was around forever in the like 90s. And the guy sits down on a chair in his kitchen and he sits on like a toy boat and he goes, oh, and looks at it and goes, oh, I must sort out that loan. And it's that advert, and I can't remember what it's for, but it's that guy. Either he's a voiceover guy or the music guy. He did kind of all of that. Anyway. Scaling models. Oh, Oh, Scaly Models has got Tunnock's tea cakes. Oh, that's trouser tent food, that is. You have to eat them, Dad. I hope you're eating them by putting an entire tea cake in your mouth at once. I would be brave. I would say be brave and try two, but it's impossible. You have to get the whole tea cake and just go hum and absorb it into your mouth. Mayhem's trying to tempt me with agadoo, but I've developed a good agadoo filter over the years. It will not destroy me. Sarah Jane says, bench, various plastic bits primed and painted, belly not eating today, so only a cuppa. You need to eat food. Colin and Dad told you this. Eat food. None of this no eating today. Go and find something, put it in your face, put it into all the face mouths on your face and eat it. Eat it. It's good for you. To quote Blazing Saddles, man, drink like that, he don't eat. He is going to die. Terrible accent, but I know. Right, so, where are we up to? I've got to build this weapon. So, I'm going to go for the flamey burny one. Purely because it's got this bit on it. And I love this stuff. I love painting these bits. Because I get to do my patented heat stained effect using golds and silvers. You might wonder how I can do heat stain with golds and silvers, but you'll find out. You'll find out one day. So, we need to build this and this and this. Build it like this, you see. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to glue on the little holdy handle at the end yet, because I want to be able to get to that bit to actually, unless I can, might be able to keep the actual barrel separate and paint. Oh, that's an idea. Okay, let's try that. Let's get the bits first. So we need that one single piece that's on that sprue, which is E74, which I can use the good nippers for because it's tiny. Red car and the blue car had a... I can't sing it. I almost sang it then. That is that sprue done. That can go into the trash. Yes. I'd cut it up, but I don't need to make any more sprue goo now, so I'll put that over there. I will give you a bonus, Dad. Not Dad, a bonus, Ted.
Clap it on.
Just because I felt like it. It's always a good time for a bonus, Ted. I shall have a swig of coffee. Yes, the line of the advert was you sit down on the boat and you go, oh, I must sort out that loan. Oh, but I can't get to the bank. It was in the early days of like phoning up for loans. I can't remember what they were called now. Vinny Curate says, quick in, hi and bye to Wall in the Chat and Fox in Glasgow, collecting a child who is far too tall to be my son. Not sure how that happened since Christmas. It's postal mess ups. It's all been a bit wonky. You get the wrong package probably. Hunger would take me over, says David Sanderson. I have that record, says Sarah Jane. Says Mayhem to... I've got lost. Says Sarah Jane to Mayhem. He was put in a grow bag, says Mayhem. So hello and goodbye, Spid. People are trying to put songs in my head, but you have to understand. Even Raging Model even tries bop. You have to understand, I have the perfect weapon to counter any earworms. And that is... Now, I can recommend this, but it's a two-edged sword, double-edged sword. There are two tunes you can have in your head that can counteract and act like an antidote to any earworm. But they can also be earworms if used wrongly. There are two tunes. One is Music to Drive By, and it might be by Ted Heath and his orchestra, but I'm not sure. It's a piece of swing, like big band type music. Late swing, early kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheesy, but if you play it really, really loud, it gets really catchy. And it can actually counteract an earworm without becoming an earworm by itself. But herein lies the problem. You have to listen to it enough to get to know the tune. And it can become by itself an earworm if you're not of a skill level enough to counteract it naturally. Somehow I've got a natural immunity to these two tunes. So one of them is Music to Drive By. I can't remember who did it. And one of them is Spanish Flea by Herb Alpert. Now, Spanish Flea is the worst earworm in the world. But somehow I have a natural immunity to it. To that Music to Drive By, I'm immune to them. All I do is when someone tries to earworm me, I simply think of either Spanish Flea or Music to Drive By, and somehow It kills the earworm completely, gets rid of it, but doesn't insert itself as an earworm. And I think with Music to Drive By, it's probably because I've heard it enough times very loudly, played it on, on my stereo loud enough over the years, that it doesn't stick anymore. And Spanish flea, I don't know why I'm immune to that. I just am. Spanish flea is like the worst earworm except for me. It's like being immune to like snake venom, but only from like a taipan and every other snake. It's like imagine that you're prone to venom from any snake except from a taipan. That's like Spanish flea is the taipan of music earworms. I think taipan's the most venomous snake, isn't it, or something? I think, can't remember. So yeah, Spanish flea and or Music to Drive By, but it has to be the right music to drive by. I can't hum it for you because of copyright, obviously, but it's a big band piece. Sort of very 1960s sounding. 1950s. Up to. It's the Finger of Fudge advert I can never remove from my head. Oh, wait, not again, says Sarah Jane. She just earwormed herself. Or as our German cousins would say, Ohrwurm, which is earworm in German. Literally earworm. I love the phrase earworm. I love the word worm. Worm's a great word. Worm. It's just, I love the shape of the word. I love the shape of some words. I'm talking rubbish. Anyway, let's get these bits. E80 and E81. Get these bits off. Yeah, so, but to use them to weaponize them as an antidote to an earworm, you have to listen to them a lot, and you have to listen to them loud. That's the risk, because you don't know if you're naturally immune to Spanish flea until you've heard Spanish flea. And when you hear Spanish flea, if you're not immune, you're just screwed. You are just absolutely screwed for like the next 3 weeks. Trust me. And I can get hit with earworms. Before I learned about Spanish flea and Music to Drive By, for about 8 months, I had the Deep Space Nine theme stuck in my head for like 8 months. I used to be at work and I just whistle it and hum it all the time. I couldn't get rid of it. I did not know then about the cleaning power, the awesome cleaning power of Spanish flea. And yeah. There's your secret to earworm removal. Now, your mileage may vary, and again, as I say, you may not necessarily be immune to Spanish flea. It's a very potent disease, Spanish flea. So, tread carefully. You may have to develop your own earworm killers. There may be other ones out there. I do not know. Actually, I need to clean that up. Revving up your engine, listen to a howling roar, metal under tension, begging you to touch and go. I don't know what that is, and it means nothing to me, so there you go. The good thing with me is I don't listen to songs other than ELO, which I grew up with, and a bit of Queen, which I grew up with, and the tiniest amount of John and Vangelis, which I grew up with and is terrible, but I love it anyway. I don't listen to songs, so songs never get stuck in my head. Not really. Like some adverts, like TV adverts, you can't avoid them, but like songs and stuff, I don't know what that one that Mayhem Model Works has just read out. So, Spanish Flea by Herb Alpert, that's the one. Caution, it is the taipan venom of earworms, so just careful with it. Careful with it. I want to know, says Panzer Koenig, I assume about Cadbury's fudge. When did they change the yummy fudge for that yellow foul-tasting stuff? Probably years ago. Probably took all toxic. Because remember, when we were kids in the 70s, half the ingredients were toxic. That's why Crispy Finders pancakes used to glow in the dark and were military grade, because they contained all kinds of dangerous crap in there. They've taken a lot of that. Lynn Dipple loves Spanish flea. Good girl. Hold a chicken in the air, stick a deck chair up your nose, buy a jumbo jet, and then bury all your clothes. Paint your left knee green, and then extract your wisdom teeth, form a string quartet. Yeah, spitting image. Fantastic. I know what that is. And pretend your name is Keith. Ohrwurm is the best worm, says Frankie Goes to Hobbywood. Yep, absolutely. Worm. I love that word, worm and gerbil. Worm. It's great. I love the word worm. You heathen, Top Gun you get. Well, I don't know. I found I have watched Top Gun and I found it very, very boring. A, because I can't stand Tom Cruise anyway. B, it's just 1980s action, it's boring. And I also hated that song. I did hate that song. If that's the one with... Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other song, aren't I? I don't know in that case. I watched Top Gun once when I was like 15 or whatever, and it was boring. Interesting. Is Spanish Philly related to Spanish Fly, but in smaller portions? No, Spanish Fly is more kind of funk. Greetings everyone, says Candygram. Tip of the hat if I were to moderate a mic at Scaly Models, whose dad's device is presently keeping my extra thin vertical whilst I build a 1/35th Italeri Nebelwerfer. Nebelwerfer! Nebelwerfer! That's the one with like 8 barrels, isn't it, that launches the little rockets. I know what a Nebelwerfer is because I played Medal of Honor Frontline. And you go across the Dutch plains, the Dutch farmland, and you have to deactivate, I think, 3 Nebelwerfers. Nebelwerfer! It was a hard level, that one. Or was that in Medal of Honor Allied Assault? I can't remember. Welcome, Candygram. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How the diddly do are you doing, my friend? Now, I have to ask the question, how many of you have just gone to find Spanish Flea or Music to Drive By and are now sitting there going, oh, sugar, it's stuck in my head? The trick is exposure. Like most things, if you listen to it a few times, it'll become an earworm. If you listen to it a lot, it will stop being an earworm. You'll get immune to it. But I think I became immune to Music to Drive By because I love it anyway. I used to listen to it all the time. Loud, very loud. It was when I had a crappy day at work. I'd had a really crappy day at work, and I recommend this if you have a crappy job that you hate and it's stressful. One thing I used to do was I used to come home from work, stick the stereo on. This is in the days of having a stereo. Stick the stereo on, and the first thing I'd do would be to play Music to Drive By very, very loud. Come along to it. And then when I'd done that, turn the stereo off, and I'd go about the rest of my day. And it would just remove all the anger and stress and frustration from my crappy day at the crappy office. I don't know why, it just did. It just like... I think it's because it's got some kind of cheery, cheerful, open road, 1950s style. I don't know. It's just awesome. And that's probably how I gained immunity to it, because I used it for positive reasons. Because for most earworms, you have to be careful. You have to remember that earworms tend to have a splash damage factor. It's all very well throwing an earworm at someone, but it guarantees if you're not careful, you'll get caught by the splash damage and you'll have it in your own head. You have to listen carefully and work carefully. Hollywood, lots of songs from the Neue Deutsche Welle, the early 80s, stuck in my head. Da, 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 for example. Da, 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 do, do. Yeah, I remember that. Neue Deutsche Welle. Spanish Flea, yes, and it's not an earworm for me, says Nim. Oh, there you go, then. You've got the perfect earworm killer. Trust me, next time you get an earworm, just start thinking Spanish Flea. If you can tolerate it, you've got natural immunity, because it is the taipan of earworms. So if you can naturally tolerate it, you've now found yourself the perfect... It doesn't always work, but if you can master the technique of using an earworm to kill an earworm... What's the old thing? Set a criminal to catch a criminal, or something like that. Set a crook to catch a crook. Something like that. Now look at this. Big gap all the way around. Sadness. This is going to be a pain to clean up, but we'll have to clean it up. Clean it up, we will. Now, this needs to go in here without the glues. That goes in there first. I had the little tiny keyboard that da 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 used as their little background rhythm. Little tiny Casio thing. Well, I used to have one of those when I was a kid. Question, are you magnetizing the main guns or choosing to have one, says Max McGinn. No, I'm not magnetizing them because A, I'm lazy as all get out anyway. Can't be bothered. Just be perfectly honest. I mean, this is the funny thing. I have magnetized the aerials purely for storage purposes, so that when I need to put it in my skirmish box, that's the other one, isn't it? That way. When I put it in my skirmish box, I can take the aerials off to avoid exploding. It does mean though that I've got them the wrong way around. I did mess them up a little bit, and I didn't get that one quite straight, but I've got a perfect way to fix it. Turn it round. Yeah, turn it around that way a bit. It looks straight. So I did magnetize those because it's a nice, simple job. But I am very lazy. And the reality is, although I intend to one day play a game, the reality is I probably will never get round to it. So I'm not too fussed if I've only got one gun and one weapon type, because I intend on having a big Imperial Guard anyway and lots of Space Marines. So yeah, I could, if I was clever, I would do, but no. I'm also not that much of a builder. I'm more, like I've always said, I'm always a painter, not a builder. So my days of doing custom stuff on these are very early days at the moment. I can put rivets on, where I snip a rivet. What I've done so far, I replace some rivets that I scraped off. I don't really. My custom career at the moment is still in the early days, but I'm also really lazy. La 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 la. Only thing I like about Top Gun is Berlin, says Mayhem Model Works. Oh. Frankie says Mainzel Mansion. Mainzel Mansion. How about Herb Alpert and his Tijuana Brass? Well, that's Herb Alpert that did Spanish Flea. I can't remember who did music to Drive By though. It wasn't Ted Heath and his orchestra. It was somebody else. Damn it! Now I have the DS9 theme in my head. Yes. Mission complete. Job done. Let's all go home. Yes. It was in my head for about 8 weeks. I was doing a very, very boring job. I was sat at a desk all day, doing shift patterns for a call centre of several hundred people and managing holidays, and it was very tedious and very boring. I hated every minute of it. And I'd sit there with the theme in my head all day and I'd be like, and I can't hum it, obviously, because it'll go copyright. Many, many weeks I suffered that. Mayhem says, reread that. I said, only think I don't like. What? Oh, the only thing I don't like about Top Gun is... Oh, right, I've got it. I do apologise. I misread your misspelled words. I misread your poor typing skills. Only joking. I wasn't really paying attention. I've got the wrong glasses on, so... The problem with looking after chat is I've obviously got my glasses and then I've got my magnifying lenses. And normally, doing chat is fine. But because I'm switching between lenses, magnifying lenses and chat, my eyes are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. I can't focus on anything now. If you're going to mess me about, I'm just not going to focus on anything. That's the problem. Now, this doesn't have a hole in it, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't need. Oops, too much glue. Now, this may be a bit tricky to do a cleanup on, because it's just covered in gaps everywhere. We'll do a bit of squeezy. I haven't done any glue in the middle there, because you've got that spinny bit. Do some squeezy, get our bead. Bead. Look at the beadularity. I think something goes over there, so we're not too worried about that really. That's the face end where the business end is, so that doesn't really matter, that bit there. I don't know why I bothered putting glue on that squeezy bit. Got a nub there I'll need to clean off. Well, hey, I forgot that bit. No. Really just this bit that matters. So we'll make sure we've got a nice bead of glue on these fuel canisters. Oh. Squishy, squishy. You can see my name popping up in chat, so I'll have a look in a second. There you go, and that hopefully should give us a nice smooth fill when we fill it. Put that there. You need a chat, Dolly, says Mayhem Model Works. Yes. Well, the thing is, and I said this on Colin's stream the other day, that I would love, because if you know that me and Colin do a midnight stream on his channel on Fridays. We've only just started doing it a few weeks ago, and I love doing it because I have a great time with Colin. Colin's an awesome bloke, and we have a great time hanging out, and it's a load of fun, and I really, really love it. And I would love for this not to be a solo stream. I'd love to do this stream like, you know, just say me and Colin or me and Dad or me and anybody, just me and somebody, having someone else on the stream, just to have then that riffing and that chat. The problem is that I have an issue with StreamYard. As you know from watching things like the Monday E-Models show, Every time I'm on the Monday E-Model show or in Colin's stream, I fall out of StreamYard. It just kicks me back to the join stream page. It doesn't sign me out, but it kicks me back to the thing saying to the green room at the back, which is annoying but fine when it's someone else's stream, because all that happens is I'm talking away, I suddenly realise that I've fallen out of the stream, and I go click the button and go back in the stream, and the person hosting it has to let me back in. So it's annoying, but it's not a problem. If I was actually doing the stream though, because I use StreamYard and I use Streamlabs, which is the streaming software, and I don't just do it straight through StreamYard. If I was running the stream, when I fell out, you guys would lose everything, because all you would see would be me, would be the screen saying click here to join the stream. You'd lose everything because I'm hosting it, and you're literally seeing what I'm seeing. So until somehow, now Colin has contacted them. Colin's had it happen once, I think, and he has contacted StreamYard and said what's going on with this problem, and they've said it's something they know about. That's about as much as he's got, basically. So they know about it, but until it's fixed, I can't really host. I can't really host. I've cut a thing off there. I didn't want to cut that off. Never mind. I can't really host a stream using StreamYard. And frankly, at the minute, ever since the demise of Google Hangouts, StreamYard is the best option anyway for like multi-person hangouts, without having a lot of equipment and hardware at my end instead. You can do it yourself, but it's very expensive. All the kit and equipment you need, it's just not worth it. And something like StreamYard's available. It's good enough quality for like fun live streams. So until they fixed it, I can't stream multi-streams like that. So something I would love to do, have like me and I'd love for me and Cole to do it, because I know Ted probably wouldn't be around on a Sunday afternoon. Chris probably wouldn't be around on a Sunday afternoon. Be fun to do it with Dad. I know, Dad, you probably wouldn't be around on a Sunday afternoon either. But I know Colin's always around. And just anybody, really. I mean, anybody. It'd be fun to do with anybody. And I would love to do it, or just vary it around, have different people each time. But I would love to do it. It's just, until I can do that, you're stuck with just me, I'm afraid. Just me and nobody else. If anybody knows anybody at StreamYard, please can you get them to pull the finger out and put a fire under it? That'd be great. Look at the gapularity, says Mayhem. Muse looks into her coffee cup. Which one of you drank that? William Rayburn says, got all three bodies cut out, now to peel and paint. If I didn't know what you were talking about, we could be quite concerned by that statement. Mayhem says, mine's empty too. Damn. Hey, whose straw is this? Did you mean to say mind, or did you mean to say mine? Also, is the straw red and white stripy? Because that's what do you call it? Is it Herbert? I can't remember now. The joke's dead now, I've forgotten anyway. Google Hangouts hasn't died, it's just changed to Google Meet, says Mayhem Model. Yes, it's Google Meet, which you have to have, for average Joes like us, you can't use. You need to have Google something or other as well, which I don't have. Yeah, Google Hangouts was open to the entire world. Google Meet is, what is it now? You need Google, I've forgotten, it's been a while since I've done it. Google something or other, which I do have on my other account, because as being a webmaster, I have access to it, but not on this account, not on Model Making Guru account, so I can't use that. But the other thing is, Google Hangouts had a lot of issues. StreamYard kind of fixes a lot of those issues. The only thing that StreamYard needs, that it really is missing, is auto camera switching, which would make things a lot better. But hey, what is it you need now? Google something or other. I can't remember. Humphrey, that's it. Yeah, you need Google. Google Meet, you just need a Gmail address. No, you don't. It's not. You need to have Google Suite, I think it is. G Suite as well for Google Hangouts Meet. At least, if I remember rightly, you did last time I looked, which is why we stopped using it for the E-Model show, because we had access to StreamYard, but we did have access to G Suite through eModels account or through my personal account, but not through, like, you know, Model Maker Hero or eModels, something like that. So we couldn't use it. And we determined that StreamYard was actually better quality than Hangouts Meet anyway. There were certain things Hangouts Meet didn't do that weren't really suitable. We looked into it. We did a lot of checking, and we spent a long time trying to find out what was best to use. Hangouts Meet was not ideal. So StreamYard will be the go-to, but like I say, they just need to fix the falling out issue, and they need to introduce camera switching. Because the problem you'll see is, like, when we do the Monday stream, what you might not realize is every time the camera switches, like, you know, every time, say, Ted might do some talking, so the camera will focus on Ted. That's Chris pressing buttons, or me pressing, or one of us pressing buttons. And the problem I have with that, the other reason I can't do multi-person streams right now, is that that's fine if when we're doing the Monday stream, Chris is sat there and he can see the screen with the buttons on it because he's facing the camera that's in front of that screen anyway. When I'm doing this, my computer monitor is like 4 feet over there. I can either look at my computer monitor or I can be facing this. I can't do both. So that would also be no use for me at all, unless I didn't want to change the camera angle. You know, I didn't want to lock the screen on Colin or anything like that. So it's got its limitations, but it's also better quality. We found that the Google Hangouts could often be really crappy quality. It would throttle up and down. It would change the resolution. You could go from really clear to really grainy. It wasn't great, but with the StreamYard, it just seems to hold a real nice 1080p or 720p signal, which is quite good. We like it, but it needs to have some changes before I can use it for that. I'd love to do multi-person streams here, but I can't. Why don't you just swap to OBS then, Fox, as Mayhem? Because I use Streamlabs OBS, which is OBS with a nice cover on the top. It's not an OBS problem. Trust me, it's nothing to do with OBS or Streamlabs. It's to do with using StreamYard. StreamYard is the online. When you see like Colin and Dave doing a 2-man stream, they're using StreamYard. Streamlabs is my streaming software, which is basically OBS with a nice cover. StreamYard is a third-party web-based service like Hangouts. But I have to capture that in a streaming software setup like Streamlabs or OBS. So I use Streamlabs. It gets really confusing with StreamYard and Streamlabs. StreamYard is the web service. Streamlabs is nothing to do with that, and that's my streaming software that I'm using now. I'm using Streamlabs now. So I just capture the StreamYard Hangout in Streamlabs. And I love Streamlabs. I do like OBS, but I prefer Streamlabs. It's a bit more click and point and simple for my useless brain to figure out. Also, I've kind of paid for it, so yeah. E82 I need. So it's not a streaming software issue with the Hangout with the StreamYard. It's nothing to do with that. Because when we do the Monday night show, I'm not in Streamlabs at all. I'm just literally got my camera plugged in and I just go to the StreamYard Hangout. And that's Chris. Chris runs his through. I think he runs it through OBS. E85. But the thing is, if you're doing a stream, you can just run it through, say, StreamYard. But a lot of people, us included, we want to add stuff over the top. We want overlays, we want pre-rolls, and we want titles and captions and things. And that's just something you have to have streaming software for. You can just run it in StreamYard, and it'll look fine, but there's a lot of bells and whistles that you're not going to have. Excuse me. So like my pre-roll and my I'll be back in a minute and my end titles and stuff like that, my test card, that's all Streamlabs. That's all my streaming software that does that. And when I do things like Ted, slap it on. That's my streaming software. When Chris adds a caption like Festus Factoids and stuff on the Monday show, that's his OBS. He uses OBS. That's the streaming software. So yeah. You can use just the StreamYard or whatever equivalent you want to use, but for the extra bells and whistles, you have to run streaming software. And then it's just a case of all you're doing is you're capturing the Hangout, the StreamYard, in whatever streaming software you're using. So It works it works really well. It does work well. It's just StreamYard has a habit of booting me out to the green room screen, which is really goddamn annoying. We don't know why. It's free hour up to 100 people and you need an email address. Yeah, it's a free hour. My streams are 3 hours long, so that would be no use at all. And I'm pretty sure you do still need G Suite. Pretty sure. I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, we quickly found that Google Hangouts is nowhere near as good as some of the competition. Just the quality's not there. You know, it didn't have the bells and whistles that StreamYard had, and it didn't have the quality. StreamYard always gave a nice crisp 720p signal, and I think it does 1080p if you pay for it. Hangouts was 720p and that's it, and it was garbage. A lot of times it was pixely, it was horrible, it would look terrible. It was never ideal, and it's, you know, it was horribly processor intensive. I used to find running, you know, joining a Google Hangout, you could hear my CPU fan going. Joining a StreamYard Hangout, it's dead quiet because it's not Google and therefore not bloatware. So in a way, it was good that it went away and we stopped using it because we did get better with StreamYard. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to go back to Hangouts now. Having used something like StreamYard. But again, it's the practicalities. I can't man my computer and press buttons at the same time as doing a live stream. It's just not. I can't do it yet. We'll figure it out. If they sort out auto camera switching and the falling out of streams issue, that'll be perfect because I can start the stream, click on OBS, I can start the stream going through Streamlabs. Oops. You know, me and another can be in the little StreamYard. It'll camera switch automatically, and I only need to occasionally go back over there to press buttons for like a TED moment or something like that, which is basically me doing that.
Slap it on.
Because I've also got a Stream Deck. Just to make it even more confusing words, I've got a Stream Deck of buttons to press, so yeah. StreamYard is perfect, apart from it doesn't work for me. Twitch is good, says Muse. Twitch is horrible. Twitch is garbage. I don't understand Twitch. The quality's terrible. You can't make money off it. I can't make money off it. And the quality is horrible. I would not use Twitch because my monetization is YouTube. And I'm doing this for a living, so... And I don't understand Twitch. You get all the toxic chat, which you get anyway, but then you get all these emotes, and it's like, I don't understand any of this. But there's literally no reason for me to do anything on Twitch, because I've got YouTube for that. I'm not streaming video games most of the time. I do stream some, but if anything I stream on Twitch is not making me an income. So. And Twitch, I don't know. I don't like Twitch. I don't use Twitch. I try and avoid it. The quality's just never there for me. But again, Twitch isn't a hangout thing as far as I know. It's just literally, it's just the same as streaming to YouTube. It's the place you stream to. I can stream to Twitch through Streamlabs, through my streaming software, but I don't want to because YouTube's monetized. I'll be making zero money from that. Where are we up to? I've seen a lot of YouTubers use Twitch for streaming. As they say, live streams have a negative effect on YouTube channel. No idea how accurate it is, though. I've not heard that, to be honest. It's just income for me. Every video, all content I do is monetized, so it's income. I get 200 views on a live stream. That's 200 views earning me income. If I do a Twitch live stream, it's 200 views. I don't earn anything. So. Mayhem says it's odd that I'm the only one that constantly gets the dropout issue. Colin's had it once or twice. I would be fully not surprised if it's a problem with something on my computer that's having an argument with StreamYard. It's just we don't know. We just absolutely don't know what it is. So it's really frustrating. It most likely is something at my end that's causing the problem, which would be good because then it means it's something I can change. But without knowing, of course, kind of puts an end to it. What? How is that? Oh, I see. No, wait, what? Yes, there we go. I'm getting myself confused there. I was looking at the weapon the wrong way around and thought it was back to front for some reason. Oh, that was terrible. I just missed that completely. I'll put glue in there first. That's easier, isn't it? Yeah, so as someone trying to do this for a living, my entire options are stream it to YouTube. That's my entire options, because that's where my monetization is. Twitch, the requirements to earn money on Twitch are so harsh that I wouldn't make anything off there. You have to do so many hours of streaming a month. You have to have so many views. No. YouTube is just reach the minimum requirements and then you can monetize everything from that point on. That's fine. That works for me. No, I can't afford to. But I've never been impressed by Twitch. We did try some game streaming on Twitch for a while and it was just terrible. The quality was awful. Okay, what are we doing in chat? I'm not sure about it at all, but from what I've heard, low views on the streams after it ends negatively affects the stats and the algorithm. Don't know. No idea. I haven't seen my income change since I started doing live streams, so I mean badly. Mayhem says your Hangouts isn't dead. Unfortunately, Hangouts, Meet and Duo are all looked after by the same team, but you know what happens with one team looking after 3 products. There's one other reason as well with Google that I'm reluctant to use Google Hangouts, and that is Google's reputation for starting something and then just killing it off after about 3 or 4 years. They always do it. This is why I will never pay for a Google product. Not ever. Because how many times have they come up with this great idea for something, launched a product, and then it's just faded away and died on the vine? No, I'm not going to invest any resources into a Google product. I just don't trust them to keep it alive. So many things. It's a miracle we've still got Gmail, I'll be perfectly honest. So many things that Google have done have just died on the vine because they just kill them off after a couple of years. They try so many things, which is great, but not many of them last. So, yes. Anyway, let's get off this conversation. It's kind of boring. If you're not interested in streaming, there's no interest at all. La 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 la. Fox, are your GPU drivers up to date, and have you tried installing Streamlabs as an admin? What? I don't know anything about computers. I'm not that clever. But yes, I think it was installed as an admin. Battery's dying, gotta go. So Steve131. Thanks for coming in, Steve. I get that battery charged up, man. Speaking of coffee. Yes, I haven't noticed any downturn in my income since doing live streams. So, and I have no intention of streaming on Twitch because I don't like it. I don't understand half the stuff that goes on in chat. I don't like their monetization model. It doesn't work for small channels like me. It works if you've got like 50,000 subscribers and they're all watching your content. But if you're a little tiny channel and you might get some viewers, no, this kind of viewers I'm getting now, I wouldn't make anything off Twitch for this. So, it's not even part of my potential options. Okay, so this bit needs to go on here like this. You see? This goes on here. I don't want to glue this on yet because I've got to do some cleanup first. Let's do some cleanup first. Well, let's go back to this. This is at about half an hour or so. See if we can clean this thing up yet. Probably a bit too early for this, but I'll give it a try. This little line here on the magazine. The other thing, of course, is it doesn't sit there. Well, I'm not comfortable with the idea of being on like a million different platforms, but for content, because if you're on one platform, people know where you're going to be doing stuff. They know where to find you. They know where your content is. And you get your presence on there. If I start splitting, in my mind, if I start splitting between this and Twitch and other places, nobody's going to know where to find my stuff. They'll be like, hang on, wait, what? Are you on here or are you on there? Which one are you on? Which I'm on the wrong one. If I do like a video a week on a platform, then I'm known for doing a video a week on a platform. If I do one video 1 week on this and then one on Twitch, then it looks like I've done half as much content. So Need to clear my throat. One sec. Not everybody likes to hop between like 10 different content providers or services, so I'd rather just be in one spot. As people know where I am, they can find the content. It's all in one place. And it would also, I don't know, it's just, I don't want to get, I spend enough time not doing this and doing editing and streaming and setting up and all this kind of stuff. I spend enough or waste enough time doing that I'd rather just have my setup and go. Otherwise it just gets too, I'm spending too much time not doing the bit. How can I explain that? It's like when I've said before, when you film a video build series, a 1 week build process can take 4 weeks because 2/3 of the time you're doing lighting, cameraing, you're doing editing, you're doing rendering videos, you're changing the lighting, you're setting up the cameras, you're planning the shot. And then you add to that all the extra like internet-based stuff. It's spending a lot of time not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, i.e. building and painting models. If I was big enough that I could have an employee that did the camera work and the editing and all that other stuff, probably would start to expand out, because I'd let them take care of all of that. I'd be like, brilliant, I'm going to build and paint, you just do all the other crap that I don't care about. Because I have no interest in editing videos and rendering stuff and lighting and camera work. That's not what I'm here for. I have no interest in that. It bores me. It's just something I have to do to get my content to you. You know? If I ever get to the point where I can do a Duncan Rhodes and have a Roger, who need a good Roger. If I get like my Roger equivalent, the guy that does all the videoing and camera work and editing, that's great. Because my job then will literally be sitting at this bench doing stuff. That's it. The other person can take care of where I'm streaming and where videos are going up and what content's going up and how it's being edited. The big problem at the minute is having to do it is doing it by yourself. It just takes up so much of your time. And that's why we often say to people when they say, should I start a YouTube channel doing my model making? It's like, you can. You have to expect that you suddenly but don't think that you're basically just going to be doing what you love day in, day out, because you're not. You're going to be doing 75% of the time editing, filming. You're going to do less model making, and it's very easy to go off it. Why a lot of people start and then never get very far, because they realise it's not just sitting at the workbench all the time having fun. It's all the grindy stuff. It's RPG grind basically. It's boring and frustrating because it's not this. For the time being, to keep this as much as possible in my day, just keeping things simple. Get rid of this gap here. This is not flattening out. This is not correct. Correct? Anyway, this is all inside baseball, and anybody, like I say, who isn't interested in streaming and YouTube and stuff probably finds all this very boring. How's that looking? It's looking better. I knew this would be a pain to clean up because it's such tiny details. There's not a lot of scope. Get it? It's a gun scope. There's not a lot of scope to flatten things out. Yeah, it's being a pain. Not cooperating. I don't like using my knife to get rid of glue seams, but seems to be the only. If you wonder what I'm doing right now, I'm holding up to the light so I can see whether I've done a good job of cleaning it or not. There's a great big change of shape here that I'm really struggling to get rid of. This is a big step. in the plastic like that. And not really a good way of getting rid of that because of the iron sight getting in the way. Do it with the file there. Not ideal, but it will work faster than using the scraper tool. A bit better. Okay, a bit better. Got some. Tell you what we did in terms of news. I did receive some, and I haven't got them here in front of me, but I did order some. Fucking rubbish today. Some more Deathcore Krieg. I decided to be a big boy, and you know my whole thing about not being able to do the arms on my Deathcore squad firing because they were really weird and trying to figure out how to build them. I ordered some more. I thought there must be a way that they must be marked in some way so I know which arm goes where, and it must have been something I missed. So I ordered 10 more. So I've got squad advancing now from Forge World, and they turned up. And I have to say, I think Forge World have repulled their molds. Like a resin mold. When you make a resin, you might not know. When you make a resin model or a kit, you produce one. The molds only last so long. They're soft silica molds. They're not metal molds. And after a while, they become too soft and unusable, and you have to just stop using that mold, and you have to create a new mold from the master. And what you'll find is, as you create models, the quality will drop and drop and drop, and then suddenly, when you do the fresh mold, they'll come back into quality again. They'll look great. The last squad I got was the squad firing, and they were really soft. They looked all right, but they were a bit soft, a bit rubbishy. The squad advancing I've got now look really crisp and really nice. I've made a right mess of this. This looks really scruffy. I may have to do some little bits of custom work on this to clean this up because I'm scraping it away here. So what we're going to do, get rid of that bit of fluff. I think it's time to get the plastic card out. Get that little bit of line there. Because these little raised details, I've sanded it and scraped it enough that some of the bits have gone a bit soft. So let me get some plastic card. One moment, don't go anywhere. I'll be back momentarily. Yeah, so anyway, I got the Deathcore guys. I've put them away in the spare room now, and they're all packed up. But they look beautifully crisp and new, freshly minted, I think. So I'm looking forward to building them. The last ones I got, the helmets were kind of, the acrylic on the helmet was a little bit soft and, you know, it's a bit low detail. But these ones are like, they look like plastic. They look like a plastic mini. It's great. Re what Fox is talking about, says Hamster. Welcome, Hamster. I once filmed a kit bash over the course of several months and I ended up with a 10-minute video. I'm proud of it and all that, but yeah, I don't. That's why I don't do tutorial videos. Yeah, you've got to keep that in mind. I've seen so many people say, I want to do this YouTube stuff. It looks like real good fun. You get to build videos and I build models and have fun. It's like, no, you do, but it sucks all the fun out of it. Trust me. If you do it, if you expect to have fun all the time, you really won't. Where are we up to? Welcome, by the way, Space Hamster. Nim says, be right back, my food is almost here. Burger King. God damn it, I can't get Burger King here. Lynn Dipple says, tell me about it. I have a hard time finding time to edit my videos. I'd kill to have enough time to put into better videos, says Muse. Paul Di Tommaso has had to head off. I'm going to take off. Thanks, Fox, and see you later, says Paul. David Sanderson, Fox, do you get more money if more people like your videos? Simply yes. If you, every time you do a thumb up on a video, it helps that video in the YouTube listings. It's not a word, is it? It's just that part. Basically, when somebody does a search on YouTube for something, then your video, if your video's got like three views and no likes, it might show up, but it'll be like the 500th one on the list. If your video's got to work. If your video's got the same number of views and more likes, then it might help it go a little bit higher in the list. It'll still be way down the bottom because you've got like 5 views, but they do help your content get found better because it increases its standing in the list of videos. If you know what I mean, it just makes it more. When somebody searches for, if you do a video about, you know, coloured pencils, and there's 3 million videos on YouTube about coloured pencils, and they've all got 5 views each, but yours has got 5 views and a whole load of thumbs ups, it'll just give it a little push, a little tiny push up the list a bit. So, which is why me and Colin and all of us, we always say, if you enjoy content from any of us, then please do give a thumbs up. That's rubbish. Give a thumbs up for any content, not just for us, but for any content providers, content you enjoy, because it just helps that video get seen in the search listings better, in search results. It doesn't necessarily mean I get more money, because income is based off advertising. How many people saw the adverts on my content? It's as simple as that. So it doesn't necessarily mean every thumbs up is 5, you know, a tenth of a pence or something. It does not quite work, but it just means it gives my video a chance to get exposed to more people and therefore get more views. More views means more ad revenue. So whoever the content creator is, if you like someone's work, give them a thumbs up. If you know, it's one of the best ways. And we say this because, you know, not everybody can do Patreon, or, you know, not everybody can support me on Patreon or become a channel member. Those are great ways to help a channel out, but not everybody can afford that. So we say to people, if you can't afford, you know, we'd love if everyone could support us on Patreon and stuff, but if you can't, don't panic. Why not just simply make sure to sit through the tedious advert at the start? That's another way you can help your favourite channels out. You sit through the advert, that's an advert view. That's what we're here for. Well, not what we're here for, you know what I mean. That's how we earn our pay, as it were. Has to be straight. All I'm doing here is, I happen to do it on camera, I'm just trying to trim little bits of plastic card to cover up that horrible line. Now, it's not that I can't fill the line I didn't fill the line with glue. It's more just that I can only do so much sanding on it, because if I go too far trying to sand it and file it, I'll just smooth away all the details. So by putting little strips of plastic on here, I can hide any sanding that I've done and hide that little gap a bit better. Just subtly, so it's not as obvious. I don't then have to sand it quite as much and smooth all the details. And it kind of looks like part of the gun anyway. Once it's primed and painted, no one will know it wasn't actually part of the original gun design. Way of doing it. Yep. So it looks really weird now, but like I say, once it's primed and painted, it just looks like part of the weapon, which works for me. Thank you very much. There you go. Good night, Vienna. Where are we up to? Mew says, okay, what colour should I paint this orc boss's jacket? Ooh. If you can see the back of it, why don't you do a little Akira reference and paint it red with a pill on the back? Just for gits and shiggles. Blue to annoy Dad, says Panzer. Yes. I've never filmed any builds for that exact reason. I'll probably stop building and enjoying the hobby if it became work. It's not so much that it becomes work and you don't enjoy it. I kind of maybe didn't word that right. It's not that it becomes a grind and work. It's that it takes you away from doing this all the time. So, like I said, a 1 week build that would be 1 week of building and painting becomes a 4 or 5 week build, because it's a little bit of building and then editing and then filming and then camera lighting and then a little bit of building. So it doesn't take the joy out of it. It's still joy to do. It's more just that you have to adjust your expectations to know you're going to get less done. And you've got all the frustrations of the boring stuff, the editing and everything else. It's more that than it takes the joy out of building. Where I would say what you've said there more applies to commission work. That's where you're building because you have to. And that's why I stopped doing commissions, because that died for me. We're up to 43 watching, only 28 likes, says David Sanderson. There you go. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. David Sanderson, I've lost the thread of this stream. Me too. Scale Model Muse says, I do slideshows because lazy. Yeah. If you can do filming though, slideshows don't get a lot of views compared to film, actual video stuff. They're okay, but people really prefer video. I find Fox very intriguing to listen to, but all that stream stuff went over my head, says David Sanderson. Yeah, we'll stop talking about it now. I kind of didn't want to get into that, but it kind of gets carried away. Has Fox sanded stuff he shouldn't have? No, it's just the seam line right down the middle of the gun was a pig to sand and clean up because it's got all the other detail around it, and all the details that are on there are really tiny and fine. So even just a little bit of sanding and filing, I was starting to soften off some edges. So I thought, well, I'll do what I can, and then I'll hide the rest with bits of plastic card, so you can't see the seam anymore, and it still looks like bona fide parts of the gun. Also, for some reason, this side was lower than that side. It was like a step, and I couldn't get rid of it without really sort of filing off the front of the gun. So not a problem, not a big problem at all. Plastic card can be really helpful for things like that. It still looks like it's part of the gun. Like I say, once you prime it and paint it, you won't even know that's plastic. It'll just look like little bits of the gun, basically. Can't stand Burger King. When they are burning, cleaning the grease, it brings back bad memories of my radiation treatment, says Lynn Dipple. Well, that wouldn't be a good combination then, would it? Make Models in. Carl's in. He says, how do you do? Sorry I'm late. Just upgraded motherboard, processor and RAM. Welcome, welcome. I'm odd then. I like commissions, says Muse. Some people do. I lost the will to live with them. I didn't. There's only so many times you can build a model you don't want to build with no safety net, because if you mess it up, that's it. You have to buy the model again at your own money and start again. Unless I really want to, I can't make the same thing twice. I can do, but only if I really want to. If I have no desire to make something and then I have to make it twice, no. Not a good state of affairs. But it was more just, for me, it was more the kind of commissions I was doing. You don't know them. They were very rarely filmed, but the kind of commissions I was doing, it was usually end up being something I had no interest in building to start with. And in the end, that got quite tiresome and tiring, having to do something that I didn't want to do. It lost its spark after a while. Right, now you see here on this gun, we've got this gap here. Oh, actually, no. I thought I might have to get the plastic card out again. But I've scraped it down enough and got rid of the gap. All right, then. Excellent. See if I can sand it. I'm going to have to get rid of the... I think what I'm going to do is get rid of these two rivets and then redo them because it's easier. Got a rivet on either end of it. And that's just balls, that is. I've got to get the mold. I've got to get rid of the gap. Easier for me to simply get rid of the rivets, clean up the gap, and then put two rivets back on. Yeah, doing commissions was like, you might have to build something you don't want to build. You might have to paint it in a way that you'd be like, why the hell would I paint it? Why would you want? Oh, that's horrible. And like the third or fourth time that I had to build a kit that I'd either built before or a kit that I had built before and hated was when I thought, you know what, commissions, I need the money. By God, do I need the money? But at the same time, I can't keep doing this. Because the thing for me is, if I don't want to work on something, then it's the worst thing ever. Like, we've all done it. Imagine, we've all done it. We've all been there. We've started building something or painting something. We've lost the will to carry on with it. We're like, you know what, I'm bored of it now. Now, if you're building it for yourself, you can just stop and go and do something else. No problem. But imagine you're building something and it's either a horrible kit or you're not enjoying it at all. But despite that fact, this doesn't fit. Despite that fact, notwithstanding, you are not in any way able to stop and go and do something else. You've not got the option. It's just not a possibility. That's commission work. To me, that's the downside. I built a Destiny Gundam and hated every minute of it. And somebody said, "Can you do a commission of a Destiny Gundam?" I'm like, oh. I took the commission, then I really regretted it. But of course, I had no choice. I had to do it. I couldn't suddenly get halfway through and say, "You know what? I'm cancelling the commission because I hate this kit." I couldn't do that. But then because I hate the thing I'm building, it goes slower and slower because I'm sitting there at the bench thinking, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to be doing this. I've got no choice, but I don't want to do it. The worst thing ever. So I stopped doing them in the end. I say, no matter how much I need the money, I value my sanity more. I'd rather just build my own stuff and have the freedom to stop and go and do something else if I get bored. Because when I'm not interested in a build or a paint job, I'm bending things here. When I'm not interested in something, I'm not doing my best work. I'll cut corners, or I'll just be like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'll just do this. If I'm building something I'm interested in, I'm having a great time, then I'll start getting more creative and inventive and stuff. But if I'm in the middle of a build and I'm like, I really can't be bothered, and don't have the option to go and do something else, you're not going to get my best work anyway. You just get a grudge build. That's not perfect at all. Especially when it's a commission, because that's supposed to be your best work. You should never give a half-assed product if you're doing commission work. And I'm so fickle and so easily bored. This is the other thing for me as well. You might be somebody who can happily do anything, and as long as you're doing something, you're fine and happy. I'm very easily bored. I can spend 6 months looking forward to building something, and then when I start building it, I can get bored within a day and be like, I want to do something else now. That's what I'm like. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. So for me, commission work was the worst possible thing to try and do. No matter how much I needed the money, and boy did I need the money, or do I need the money? No matter how much, it just wasn't worth it for my brain. I shall come and have a look at chat in a moment. Anyway, let's talk about other things. We keep getting onto like grumpy subjects now. Let's not talk about grumpy things and technical stuff. Let's talk about interesting things. I don't know what to talk about. There must be something interesting we can discuss. Still watching the Clone Wars because our friend Paul very kindly gifted me the Disney Plus for a year. I'm working my way through Clone Wars in glorious 1080p, get in, or whatever the highest resolution it does is. So good, so good. I've only ever seen it in like shonky streaming website 240p or 340p, so it's a revelation. This is why I never do commissions with my art. I'm a slow doodler at best and prefer doing things like trades. There you go. For me, it's much better. Instead of somebody saying to me, I would like you, I'll give you lots of money if you build this thing you don't want to build and paint it in a colour scheme that you don't want to paint it in, and do these other things that are actually unfeasible to ask, but I want you to do it anyway. P.S. I might not pay you for it in the end, and I might change my mind and cancel the commission. It's much better for me to simply build what I want to build and sell it. I suddenly realised, why am I going through all this stress of doing stuff for somebody else in the way they want it that's not what I want to do, when I can just do what I want to do and sell it? There's a million times less stress. And then, of course, the world caught fire and I can't sell anything at the minute, so it's like, oh, for crying out. Universe tries to best me. What are we talking about? I imagine commission videos are very stressful. I never used to, or try to avoid filming commissions because I've got to focus on the thing I was building. If I'm trying to paint something, I don't want to be distracted by filming. So, but commission builds, yes. There's a Five Guys 2.5 hours from me. I'll go try them next time I go to Midland, Tennessee, says Lynn. I was -6 when Apollo 11 happened. Talking about Apollo? How do we get onto Apollo? Fox fouled the iron sights off that weapon. No, he still got them. I was aware that I was about to foul them off. That little fella's going to have a hard time hitting anything from now on, says Candygram. Yeah. We're saying welcome back to Carl. Anyway, Muse, you said I'm odd, then I like commissions. We know you're odd, but we still love you. Five Guys at dinner tomorrow. I was 3 when Apollo 11 happened, and my dad filmed it on his old 8mm movie camera. I love the film, says Lynn. I was -2. I hope the little Ingenuity helicopter will be successful in its flight attempt on Mars, and I'll again lament on the fact that there are no model kits of planetary rover robots. Oh yeah, well, they don't know when we're launching that yet, do they? It's been unfurled and it's still slung under the rover. I'm really looking forward to watching that whiz around. That's gonna be so cool. What makes me, in a way, it's really weird. In a way, right? It's like, what is amazing is to look at all the things that we know are going to happen in the future, like all the stuff that's going to happen that we're working on now. You know, watching the little helicopter fly around on Mars, and when the James Webb Telescope gets launched, that's going to be incredible. What makes me sad, though, is all the stuff that's going to be happening when we're long gone. All the stuff that's 40, 50, 60 years away that we know is going to happen, but is so far away that we're never going to see it, or most of us will never get to see it. That kind of makes me sad, in a way. It's nice to have that kind of feeling of, wow, we do so much cool stuff and there's so much happening. It's amazing. It's like, yeah, but you know, we'll probably never see it. Us now at our ages, some of you might, some of you might be young enough, but for some of us, I'm 50 this year, so there's definitely going to be lots of things that will happen that we know are going to happen, that are in the works. I'm not going to see. I probably won't get to see genuine consumer level fusion energy, fusion power as being developed, commercial fusion power generation. I probably won't get to see that. Some of you might, some of you younger ones might. It's kind of sad in a way. It kind of makes you a bit sad sometimes. So much good stuff happening. To be young again and to know that you get a chance to see all these amazing things. Yes. Right, what I need to do, I need to get my scribey tool of scribing. Can't wait to see that little helicopter float about. I hope it works. I really hope it works. It's so cool. The fact that landing stuff in Mars, oh sorry, I'll start again. The fact that landing stuff on Mars is so insanely difficult and has such a massive failure rate, and yet both times have used this incredibly risky and complicated, dangerous sky crane system, whatever they call it, and it's worked perfectly, is an amazing thing. You know, I love the fact that the more traditional land it on the surface or land it in a bubble thing tend to end in failure. The failure rate is something like 1 in 3 or something. It's like the failure rate landing on Mars is just crazy. So the fact that the most complicated, most technically challenging way of doing it has been the most successful, it's just like fantastic. Love it. Right, I think that's the mold line cleaned up. As you can see by me doing these, you don't have to sit and... Often people will say, do things on camera. Often people will say, you know, you've got to put the glue in and squeeze it and then leave it for 20... I've said it in the past, leave it for 24 hours. You don't. You can leave it half an hour. If it's small enough and you can slowly work your way around, you can get a lot of cleanup done within half an hour, an hour. Now, I do need to put some rivets back on, don't I? So we'll do that now. Well, actually, no, first we'll do this. We've got to clean this one up. Let's clean up this puppy here. There's some rivets I'll need to replace again. Take a rivet off of there. And if you're wondering why I'm removing these rivets, it's just because I've got a seam line to clean up right where the rivet is. And rather than try and gently work my way around the rivet to clean the seam line, it's easy just to get rid of the rivet and replace it. A lot less hassle. If you've got the option of rivets, do that. Now, there is a bit of a gap there, but I don't really think I can get to that to clean it very easily. Let's just have a try. I can kind of scrape it with the knife, but that's about as good as I can get. Can't get any kind of sanding tool in there. Sanding tool. Also, to drill these barrels out. Flamer barrels are a nightmare. Now, if you notice, I'm holding the blade like this. It's a very dangerous way to do it. If you're careful, I'm keeping the blade steady with my finger behind it. The reason I'm doing that is if you use a blade to clean away a glue bead like that, this thing is rigid and doesn't flex. This thing will flex and bend as you scrape it along, and that's why it jitters around on the surface and you get lots of scrapes and scratches. If you can brace it somehow with your finger carefully, like that, so when you're actually scraping it, it's not moving, it helps reduce that, but just be aware you're putting your finger on a knife blade. Yeah, not ideal, but it does work. If you want to try and get a scratch-free cleanup with a knife, try that. But what I'm also going to do is just touch some glue to it again, just to show you how much I'm using. Taking all the glue off the brush. Just damp with glue, just very gently put it over there, and that just melts off any little scratches and scrapes and blends them all away. So that cleaned up. That was nice and simple. The seam line is still inside there in the little holes, but they'll be filled in with black or very dark colours later on because they're supposed to be holes anyway. You won't see inside there. That goes on the other side of this, so that goes like that. That then sits on here like that. Nope, that. Yeah, that goes like that. That goes like that. And then we have the little rail that sits on the outside like. How does this go? If this goes here like this, you'll see that sits in like that. It just glues on. There's no hole for it, it just kind of locks into place. Now what I'm going to do is, once that's on there, like, I can't really hold it in place, but basically that sits there like that, like a little grab rail. But it's kind of going to get in the way of me painting this, because this is going to involve dry brushing, and having this on there. The trick here is, of course, I'm going to have to glue this on afterwards, but at that point this will have all been painted. You can see the trouble I'm having getting it on. Gluing this little handrail on is going to be a pain in the bum, but what I could do is glue this on here now and then simply slide that on later, because that will fit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue this on here now, and then we will slide this bit on the end later. I'm going to use the fat glue for this because I need it to stay in place, but I've got to use a very tiny amount, and this is the tricky thing to do with the fat glue. Tiniest amount on the end there. There we go. I can kind of coordinate all my hands and fingers and thumbs and things. Not easy. It's a bit like the roll cage. It just kind of, there's no hole and slot. It just kind of locks into place, and you have to hope it fits, stays in place somehow. The fat glue, the regular Tamiya cement, will mean it stays in place for a minute, holds its own weight. Yeah, just for a moment. And once that's had a second, put the lid back on the fat glue. Apologies if I'm not doing a lot of reacting with chat at the minute. I'm just trying to get this done. Make sure it's straight. At a moment. Having a moment. Glue that with some thin. And the reason I'm putting the thin on now is just to get into the little gap. The fat glue will hold it a little bit. The thin glue can now work its way into the little gaps and make the bond, melt the plastic a bit more and make that bond absolutely permanent. There you go. It's rock solid now. It will be after a while. When it comes to attaching this, we can just slide that on like that, because that will require some dry brushing. I love doing those things. Put that there. Let's have a look at the chat. Peanuts yummy, says Lynn. I've seen some channels that chase the YouTube money seem to rush the builds, and the quality of their builds shows it. The same goes for some of the sailing channels. Yeah, I've always said to people, if your entire purpose of doing YouTube is to get rich, don't do YouTube. Now, I obviously do this for a living, so it's very important to me that I earn money doing YouTube. Yeah. But the difference with me is, if I had to stop, if the monetization went away tomorrow, I'd still do this because I love doing it. It's just nice that I can earn an income doing it, and that allows me to do it more. But if the monetization was to go away, I just have to go and get a job. But I'd still do this as best I can. Whereas the channels where they just do it to earn money, like he says, they just start rushing the bills. They do lots of irrelevant content. They get really snappy, and you can see them. They just start catering to what they think people want. I don't do that. I build what I want to build, and I paint what I want to paint. And if nobody wants to watch that, then that's it. That's that. I can't do anything about that. And if I build something that suddenly 8 billion people want to watch, then brilliant. That's a bit of extra income. But I'm still building what I want to build. I'm not gonna start doing stuff just because I think it's going to get me the views and the clicks. Although, I'm not going to say I don't think about it, because I have to. It's how I am income. So, but I'm not gonna prostitute myself, turn into flipping PewDiePie or Logan Paul morons, anything like that. Start doing gossip and celebrity credit and nonsense. La 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 la. What up to? Edward Lender's in. Hello, ladies and gentle peoples. Hello, Edward. Squishies. Universal symbol of squishies. I can't really do it on camera, the right angle. The camera's at the wrong. Squishy symbol. Let's have a look. Most of the ones I paint off are paying people. It helps pay the bills, says William Raybould. Cool. Has anyone played Gundam Battle Operations 2? I found it free on the PlayStation 4 today. Nope, never heard of it. Squish King, says Mayhem. There is a line, though, a very fine one, between what the client wants and the client being an overbearing ass, says Mayhem. Yes. There's also a very fine line between people that understand what things cost and 99% of the people that ask you for a commission. Most of them don't understand. We're having this conversation on Friday with Colin and Dad. It's like the number of times somebody would say to me, how much would it cost to do this model? And I'd say, that will be £1,000. And they'd say, but the model's only worth 50 quid. And I'd be, yes, and there's 100 hours of work in there to fully build it and paint it for you. And if you pay me less than £1,000, that means I'm earning less than some chud at McDonald's who's flipping burgers for a living. And 70% of those people go, oh, right, okay, I understand. That's fine then. And some of them go, oh, I'm not paying that. I can do it myself for just the cost of the kit. And I'm like, right, off you go then. Brilliant. If you're good enough, if you're that good, then why would you even bother asking me to commission it? Yeah. Right, so that needs to go on there like that. You see? I do like the look of this. Flamer, I think. The flamulatoriness. It's made of flames. Flames everywhere. Let's get it on. Get it on. I'm using fat glue here again, just so it can support its own weight. Because it's a support its own weight scenario. Can sponge onto there. Sponge. Put the lid back on the fat glue. Always put the lid on the fat one. Always seal up your fatness. We'll get some of the extra thin down into the gap. Gap there on the pipe. Really bothered about that. It's not the end of the world. So yes, my thinking is that if I start to build slowly and take my time with builds, and it partly came about when I was building my Prophecy of the Wolf set, or even, as we say in English, Prophecy of the Wolf, because that, like I said during those streams, that was given to me, or rather, I bought that from Cy Reynolds, who's a Golden Demon winner, has won 2 Golden Demons. And so, rather jokingly, I said, well, I've got to make this as good as possible because it's been breathed upon by a Golden Demon award-winning painter, and I've got to do it justice. So I built it slowly and made sure I got rid of all the mould lines and all the seams and all the gaps and everything. I did my best possible work on it to get it all built, and I kind of enjoyed it. And I thought, maybe I should just approach it now that imagine every build is something I've bought from Cy Reynolds, and therefore I should take my time. I'm trying that, and that's why I'm building really slowly, more slowly than normal. Normaler. I was going to put some. I've got to put some rivets on, haven't I? I really am talking rubbish today. How do you guys? Oh, burpage. How do you get that tasted of nothing? How do you guys put up with me? How do you guys put up with me just waffling on about nonsense? I don't know how. I don't know how you go. Why you guys watch me? I really don't. Anyway, William says, one thing I absolutely hate is copying someone else's work. Yep, don't do that. Just tedious. For some reason, I don't quite know why, Sarah Jane says, what winds him up is when people say about aliens impacting our past, they should give humans more credit than that. Rant over, moving on. That was random. You mean like, oh, look, the aliens built the pyramids? Or how about no, just humans built it because we're not that stupid. We can pile up stones quite nicely with cranes 4,000 years ago. It's not that hard. We were quite smart, you know. I agree. I genuinely offered 10 quid to build and paint and weather a big Revell Falcon a while back. Says Phil East. I hope you just said GTFO. Because, yeah. I'm sorry, that Revell Falcon, that'd be thousands of pounds because it'd be hundreds and hundreds of hours of work to make it even remotely decent. Fox builds as slow as the adventures in Skyrim. Yes. Electricians and plumbers are the worst for that kind of thing in my experience, says Panzer. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hope Si's doing okay. I haven't seen him in quite some time, says Candy. He's fine. He's pootling along. Just close your eyes, move the paint cans around and pick one, says Lynn. And Fox built slow, that means he's speeding up. Or if Fox built slow. I'm used to Waffles. Fox says Eon's car. Sarah was replying to my rant. Oh, okay. What was your rant then? I miss a lot of the chat now. I can't remember. I'll never find it. Anyway. It's not random, it's chat. You're not following the Sarah Jane. Okay, this is understood now. I like to think it's more just random things that people blurt out into chat, which makes it more amusing. Like, imagine if I think it'd be hilarious if one day chat was just an endless stream of non sequiturs, just completely random, unconnected things. That'd be hilarious. That'd be most charming. Right, it's riveting time. Ooh. Which size rivet do I want? Oh, that'd be far too big. 1 mil would be far too big. We don't want the 1 millimeters. We want the 0.6 millimeters, which are the closest to this. Yeah, that's it. You know how this works. First, find a rivet that doesn't look like ass. Second, find the ghost of the old rivet, which is about there. If you look at it, you've still got a hint of where it was. Third. Fourth. Find a rivet. Fifth. Bunch of glue. Sixth. It's partly doing that Prophecy of the Wolf stuff from Simon that I decided to build carefully, and partly doing rivets. My friend Kenneth, who sent me these rivets, partly doing this has allowed me to sit and just do tiny things carefully and slowly, and I've started to enjoy it. So, was there another rivet on here? Oh, there was another one somewhere, I think. I can't remember. I think there may have been one somewhere, but I can't see where it was. Or was it on? It was on this, wasn't it? Yes, it was there. So, and this is just over the last few weeks. So, and the difficulty is, as you've seen in this stream, started off saying I'm going to go quiet, slow, talk carefully, and after about half an hour, I'm just waffling on about some irrelevant nonsense that you've started me off talking about. And it's all gone to pot. So I've still not got there yet. But one day, I will talk quietly, thoughtfully, and carefully. Also, because my microphone's a bit too loud. If I talk quietly, it sounds better. Don't spill the rivets again, says Lynn. Oh God, no. Yeah, I got most of them, I think. I'll be that future I'm a bender meme if someone asks for lower than the asking price for the commission. The laughing one. Oh wait, you're serious? I'll laugh even harder. Yeah, I know that one. It really was a case of, you know, most people didn't get it until you explained to them. I estimate it will take this many hours. Like, I always used to use a simple example. I used to make 100 hours. I say, right, imagine you ask me to do a job and I say it's £800. And you're like, the kit's only £20. Why is it? I said, because it's 100 hours work. And if you pay me £8 an hour for that 100 hours work, that's minimum wage. That's the same as somebody working at McDonald's. So £800 is the starting price, because ideally I want you to pay me more than minimum wage. So if you really want me to build this for you, you're looking at £1.50. And they'd be like, oh, yeah. It's not how good am I as an artist. It's not how well known am I. It's literally, are you paying me minimum wage? My work. If not, then goodbye. So at least minimum wage. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised then, once they realise that, a lot of people are like, okay, no, that's fair enough. Now I understand, so that's fine. That's not a problem. I can pay you that money. There's the occasional one that'd be like, well, it's still too expensive. And you'd be like, well, goodbye. You know, you don't go into an art shop and ask for an original oil painting by Mondrian and expect it to be 50 quid because it just costs the cost of a few paints and a bit of canvas. No, you pay 4.5 million for it because it's Mondrian. So yeah. Right, I think that's that bit done. I need to attach it to the arm device. That's all sorticated. This needs to be attached to the device of armings. I'm finding Necrons to be the quickest and easiest Games Workshop army to paint so far. Really enjoyable, says Philly. Yeah, apparently they are. It's just like a metallic colour, a bit of a wash and some bits and bobs. I've never built one, but I hear tell they're a bit of a pig to build, though. They're a bit of a pain in the butt to build. Is this true? I don't know. I've never built a Necron, so I have no idea. And I get frustrated by... want your spoon. I get frustrated by Tempestus Scions and their stupid little arm setup. So here, tell Necrons can be quite a challenge. This is supposed to go in here, but it's refusing to actually go in the hole, or to even stay in place. Right, get in the hole. There. No. Yes. There you go. That's in. That does not require any glue at all. You could, theoretically, you could pull that out again, although I'm not going to. I'm not going to glue it. Doesn't need it. But what I will probably end up doing is gluing the gun into a particular pose, because it's going to be flippy floppy until then. So that goes on that side. That's the one thing you quickly realise when you start doing like paid commission work, is that most people don't understand how much stuff costs, or it's worth. Okay, so we have the shooties. We have the gun of shooting, boom. And we have the hand of Slappity, yes. Slappity hand time. Quite like the look of that. Now these arms aren't going to get glued in place, because I need to be able to take them off to paint them. I probably will glue it into a set angle. Once I've decided on this angle of which way the torso is going to point, I'll decide on which way the arms are going to be. Is it going to be firing up or down, or... It also got an out angle as well. I probably won't have it pointing out, because it'll look a bit weird if I have it like that, because it's a flame weapon, remember. Probably best just to have that straight. And then this arm can be out like that. Maybe, or you know, it could be that he's leaning forward, or well, turning round perhaps and aiming that way, but this arm's out to counterbalance it. Or that bit could fall off. So I've got to play with that bit to get the pose. I've got to decide on the torso pose first. And that'll be, you know, probably, because that leg is forward and that leg's back, I'll probably have him turning that way, as if he's edging forward and shooting over here somewhere. I do need to glue these guns into place though, because that bit there, if you paint that, all that paint will scrape off. So these guns are now about to be fixed into place very quickly. Let us do that now, my friends. I'm going to do it now. Because I like the fact they give you wibbly wobbly guns. It's quite nice that they do that, but in reality, when you're playing on the tabletop, I don't really care. when I eventually get round to playing on the tabletop, I'm just going to get them on the tabletop and play the game. I'm not going to start moving guns around and pointing them at the things I'm shooting at. It's not that bad. We're not going to get that involved. It's just a case of, yeah. Hopefully they're not stuck in place. I'll just put some glue down there just to make sure. They're fixed in place. Make sure they're straight, because for the love of God, they better be straight. Yes, yes, yeah. Cool. Don't want them pointing in different directions. That would be dumb. Now, what we've got left to do now, this needs to go on the leg. How does this attach to the leg, dear boy? We're nearly done with this one. Oh, I think we might be done with this, actually. This attaches via something. Oh! You remember I said, what's this for? This little sort of rack thing here. Apparently it goes on that little bit there. It locks in like that. So they actually answered the question for me. Yay! Now, what I might do here, as we've done with other bits, is I need to be able to paint that stuff. I need to be able to paint this side of the gun. But what I'm probably going to do is not glue that in place now. I could do. I don't know what colour the thing's supposed to be. But if I want to do like a black casing, which is the traditional way of doing it, it's going to be hard to get on the inside of it. But I may keep that separate, and when it comes to at the end of the day, when everything's ready to go, I'll glue that on there. When it's all been painted and weathered. Glue that on there, because it's easy to do. Touch of glue, spong, done. There's no risk of messing up the paint job with glue, because it's not going to go anywhere. What else have we got to do? Well, that is actually dude complete. Cool! He has been befinished. So, where's my little man's... So what I've got to do now, what my little space wolf do with his space puppy head, yes. Khajiit appears to be a wolf. I don't quite understand this. A little space puppy in there with his playpen. His nice little playpen there, all safe and secure. We've got the arm of Slappity. Slappity arm, slappity arm, slappity arm. Slappity arm, bomb. So that's there. And then separately we'll have the muzzle of the heavy flamer. Whatever it is, let's have a look and see what it is. It says in the blurb. Does it say what it's called in the blurb? It is a don't know. It's a shame now with these new data sheet styles, layouts. It doesn't tell you anything anymore. It just says the numbers, and it's like you need to expect it to know what they are, which is a shame. I'll put that there. So that will go on the back of the leg. That will go on the end of that gun there. We've got two little aerials that will sit on top that I can rotate to line up. They're magnetated. And then, of course, we'll put some texture on the base. So that's pretty much done. So I need to keep all the separate bits separate, because they'll be separate for painting. I've got this piece to glue on the top here, but I'm not gluing it on now because I want to be able to remove this and the pilot for painting. And then when it's all done, that'll go on there. I don't even need to glue this on. Basically, that goes on there, that goes on there, and then I can glue on this piece to cover up that hinge, and it locks the frame in place there. Yeah, is that done? So cool beans. I really like that. It's actually quite impressive now. I'll see if I can lift it up so you can see it. Better look at it. Yeah, I do it on camera, do. Yeah, it is quite a mint. People have whinged about this. They call it like the baby carrier and stuff, but you know what? I think it looks pretty damn good. There's no reason at all Space Marines don't need a walker of some sort that isn't a dreadnought, because not all Space Marines are dead or half dead. But why not give them a walker? I quite like it. I really like the look of it. Not my funnest build ever. Few fit issues, but it's pretty good. If I was just building it without trying to do live streams and filming, I'd be quite happy with that. I think what I can do, I might actually, while I've got a minute, let's plan the pose. I want him to look like he's about to go reaching for his weapon. So if I have him facing that way, like he's shooting the heavy flamer, and this hand can be like that round the back, like he's about to grab his oops. Oh, and I've already glued it. It's actually glued in place. Cool. That's all right. Don't need to worry about that one then. This one can just quite simply be, if I have that one there, I forgot I'd already glued this arm in position. That one can be going for his weapon. This one, if I have him, because this arm's back, it makes sense to have this arm pointing forward. So that's at the absolute maximum of the traversal of the weapon. So that's easy for me because it means I can just have it like that. Touch glue to it. I could have him with it in the air. Well, I can do that by rotating things. What we'll do, I'm talking rubbish again. We'll just glue this in place on the joint. Luckily, like I said, it's the bottom of the traversal, so I can just have it hanging by its own weight. Not a problem. Easy peasy to paint. Absolutely not a problem at all. There's nothing I can't get to. We'll leave that sit there for a minute. I like that. I do like that. Let's have a quick look at chat. In other news, I have now taken order. I'm awaiting delivery of. I've paid for and sent designs off for some Death Court of Krieg waterslide decals. Yes, they have been ordered. They will be arriving in the next few weeks, hopefully. If you know your Death Core, you'll know that Forge World did do a Death Court of Krieg decal sheet with like lots and hundreds of marks. Like they do their big A4 sheets with billions of markings on. There's lots of generic markings, so you can put them on vehicles and figures and everything. But they haven't done them for a long time, and it's really frustrating that they haven't. All they have to do is print the decals again. Just print them out, for crying out loud. Print out a couple of thousand sheets and sell them. But they haven't done them for a while. And if you go onto eBay, like a sheet of decals is like 80 quid for half a sheet of decals that somebody's got spare. So I'm not doing that. So what I did was I found a set of fan-made decals or designs on where did I find it? On some forum. I did post them up in the Boom Hut. Let me do a link for the Boom Hut for you. If you're in the Model Makers Boom Hut, if the button works, if you're in the Model Makers Boom Hut, one of the pinned posts at the top of the page, one of the announcements is the artwork for the decals. So if you've been looking for some, download that. I downloaded that, I twiddled with it a little bit, and I've sent it off to Fallout Hobbies, who are in the US, who do decal printing, and they do really good decal prints, including white. So I've sent that off to them. We've done some tweaking with it, and they're hopefully running that up in the next few weeks. So yes, so Death Core of Krieg decals. I'll have like millions of little symbols. I'll have lots of little Aquilas and little bits of Krieg and words and things I can put on the troopers' helmets, on the vehicles, and everything. So I've got my probably a good couple of years supply of decals there for most of the models, and if I need more I can get them to reprint them. So yes, I thought I'd let you know. But yes, if you have been looking for some, don't buy the real ones. They're not in print. They've not been in print for years. They'll probably never come into print again. So at the moment, if you want decals for your Death Crooked, there really is no choice but to make your own, basically. So I often rant about not doing pirated content and knockoff content, but in this situation there is no official alternative. There are no official Death Core waterslide decals, so you've got no choice. Not like I'm impinging on their copyright. They're not selling them, and they might never do them again. So if there were official ones out, I'd say buy them. But yes, anyway, so it's cost me about $35, I think, for a sheet of A4 sheet of millions of decals. Well, I'll show you them when they arrive. But if you have been looking for some, go into the Boom Hut. It's one of the announcement posts on the top of the page. Happy Hoppy Bunny Day. Happy Chocolate Day, Timothy. Oh, Timothy Calaco's in. Happy insert non-committal offensive reference to spring or rebirth of messianic figure here, everyone. Yeah, I'm not religious. To me, it's just bank holiday. Happy day off work, everybody. Happy 4-day weekend. I'm not religious at all, so. Don't forget the question, Timothy, if you've not answered it, bench and belly. It was asked ages ago. Not sure what chat's talking about. Our flashy gits. Good so far, Graham. What are we talking about? Not sure what we're talking about now. Wow, nice job, Fox, says Ray. It was just a bit of building, that's all. Time when we've got ages. I'll start on some Space Marines in a minute. We've got 15 Space Marines to build yet. Right, Roast lamb with Moroccan spices and veggies, Sarah Jane, a lovely bottle of Bordeaux to accompany it, says Max Models. Oh, hi, Max Models. I think David's going to say goodbye. Got to shoot. See you. See you. Thanks for coming in, David. See you soon. Nice Muse. That's a good paint. I have no idea what we're talking. I've really lost track of the chat. I've also lost track of how to say words. I have a lot of aftermarket decals too, but not a box full. That's the Photo X sets. My Hulk boss now has a shiny gold robotic arm, says Muse. Oh, there we go. Glorious Gold. Glorious Gold is really quite nice. It just takes a few coats to get a nice opaque colour layer. I have a box full of aftermarket decals. Not sure I have all the kits for them yet. I'm gearing up to paint a 70 Mustang for a third time. Some kits just fight you every step of the way, says Phil East. Oh, yeah. I have never yet finished painting a USS Reliant. Either because I've never got round to painting it because the model kit is terrible. All the ones you can find are usually terrible. Or I've got to the point of doing the Aztec decaling without having an Aztec decal set or a masking set. I've just given up the will to live. I might do another one day. I got a resin one once from what was it? There's some place that sold resin models with Star Trek kits. They were like a garage place, and they were called something, and they were called Federation Shipyards, I think, or something. I think they're long gone now, anyway. Yeah, I've tried it a few times. Always gave up. Right, anyway, that's that bit done. So we're going to put that to one side. Just arm on so you can see what it's going to look like. You'll have one arm. That arm can be back as if he's about to reach for his 6-shooter. And this one can be up either there, pointing forward because he's flaming some fools. He's toasting some fools. Or he can have it up in the air because he's being badass. He's going, hey, shoot you with a gun. Or it could be back like that because he's weird. I could have no pilot in it. He could have his arms like that because he's running. Yeah. Maybe he's like a grunt in Halo. He's running away and he's going, nah, I'm running. That does put a different slant on it, doesn't it? He put his weapon back like he's not actually firing. He'll probably just be pointing forward though because he's melting some fools. Oh, how about if you have it like that? If you have it like that, there you go. Get that aerial off. This would be quite funny. You can put almost an expression into it. If you put his arms like that, it's like he's firing the flamer forward, but this arm's up in the air as if he's going la 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 la, flaming fools, la 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 la. It's kind of casual death murder. Quite funny. He's saying hello, say hello to my flames, brrr, killing everybody, yay! Flames for you and flames for you. It just gives him like a kind of light, delicate air to he's having fun with it. It's my way my brain works. Ignore me. I'm just talking rubbish. Right, where are we? I'm going to have either a sandwich or a burger, says Lynn. Well, burger seems like the correct option because compared to a burger, the sandwich is rubbish. If you've got the option, the answer is always, unless it's like a 10-layer sandwich with burgers in it. If it could be a sandwich that includes burgers, that's an option. Definitely an option. I shall put that over there. I shall put this over here, see? Let those guns glue. Put that on there to carefully set, and we shall get another sprue. We've got all these bits left over, all these spare bits, including 3 heads that I don't need. So, what's next? Halo Grunt, they got elite. Run, not again. I love that. I love the original Halo Grunts, not Halo 2 or 3, but the original Halo Grunts, like from the first one. Right, let's build some dudes. We've got half an hour. That sprue can go to the bottom of the world because it's irrelevant now. It's irrelevant, you know, that animal with a big nose. Joke. Moving on. And sprue. So we need for this one, we need sprue. C. Many C sprues died to get information. Right, which sprue is C? There's a sprue. And it is sprue number. Sprue doesn't say. Doesn't say whether it's C sprue or not. Brilliant. Well, 11. Hang on. Are these all the same sprue? Are we going to have to come to blows here, Gameswork? We're going to have words. use sprue A, B, and C. Which one's which? Don't know. One of them probably. How do we know which sprue is which? As long as they have different numbers, that'd be alright. But like C11, it's not that one because 11 on there is a leg, an arm. C11 on this one is. God, it'd be helpful if you actually, you know, you're going to label it in the instructions as sprue C, then actually label it as sprue C on the sprue. Be a good starting point. 11 on this one is somewhere. Is a leg. Oh, it might be this one then. Could be this one. Although 11 is on this one is also. Oh, those two are the same sprue. Okay, they're the same sprue. Crikey, Riley. Come on, Games Workshop. Play the game. Everybody play. Oh, here we go. Labeled it here. Okay, right. I let them off. You've actually for once labelled them. They could put it on the sprue though. Right, so sprue C are that one. Sprue C is, hang on, get this right now. Sprue C is not that one or that one. Wait, what I did? Oh, oh, hang on. Wait a minute. I do not understand how this sprue works. This sprue is making no sense. Kajit does not understand this sprue. Right, so sprue C is that bit, which is here. This, no, it's not. This makes literally no sense at all. Hang on. That is spruce. Is that sprue C? That is sprue C there. God almighty. And then sprue. Okay, and that's also sprue. All right. Okay. Cheese and rice. So that is sprue. Gee, you could just put the C on the sprue. It would make life a lot easier. I don't know. Right, so that is sprue C. Ping, it went. That's sprue C. We'll put that there. Sprue D, therefore, is, if you get it the right way around. Oh no, this is also sprue C. There's two sprue Cs, right? Okay. Sprue C, which is actually two sprues, which are also stuck together into one sprue. So that again should be sprue C, and that's also C. Right, that's C as well. Oh, blimey. And then E. Okay, so C is two sprues, D is two other sprues, and E is all these three sprues. Wow. They really haven't figured this out, have they? How it's supposed to actually work. So these are E's. I'm going to cut them into halves, just so they're easier to deal with. I don't know. I'm an old man. I'm not supposed to understand complicated things like this. What I shall do is I shall get my little white Uniposca pen, and I shall write words upon it. Except, no, wait, hang on. Yes, so this is sprue D. Find somewhere I can actually write on it. D. There we go. D. On this one, I shall write C for core. Blimey, you could have made that a bit easier. C1, C1 and C1. There we go. C1, C1. On this one, I shall add the leg end. C2. So I know which is which. C2. Doesn't really matter because they're both the same sprue anyway. C. You see how I can sometimes struggle with simple things. It's pitiful to watch, but it's a necessary part of the process, I'm afraid, when I'm concerned. Right, so where are we up to? It's not relevant, it's a hippopotamus. Yeah. La 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 la. Sarah Jane, I can't smell, but I'm great at eating meat and paying the chef compliments. Yes. I don't think I have buns, so a burger sandwich is what I'm going to have then. Get lots of burgers and then just take the top off one and the bottom off the other and just put all the other burgers in between the two, and then you... Awesome. I'll post the results onto Festa's group page. What have I missed now? Max Model says. I've lost what we're talking about. The aroma from the oven is just amazing. What are we making now? Roast lamb with Moroccan spices and veggies, Sarah Jane. A lovely bottle. Oh, you've done that one. Yes, I know what you mean. Yes, I'm not paying attention. Right. Let's just shut up, Fox. Just do some goddamn work. Right, so let's make some dudes. So we've got to make 2 of these. 2 little fellows. I think we know what we're doing with Primaris Marines. We've made enough Primanis up until now. We've made enough of these guys to know how these guys go together. Let's make them go together. So we need some 9 and 10. We need 2 of these. So we have the sea sprue. Now we know which is which. Yes. 9 and 10. Made to make your mouth water. 9 and 10. That's the wrong sprue completely, isn't it? Because that's... Oh, there's 9. There's a 9. I'm just cutting this off camera because it's easier for me to just hold the sprue up and do this. 9. And 10 is a back part. There we go. Gentlemen, prepare your back parts. You guys have made me talk about things there that make me sound really grumpy, but I'm not. I'm in a great mood today. 11 and 13. I'm in a fantastic mood today. Even though we're having bacon toasties for dinner, and it won't be anywhere near enough food for me. I need more. 11 and 13 I want. 11 there. Use my big nippers for those. 11 13 there. Yeah. Yeah, because we'll have our bacon toasties and stuff, but I want more. I may have to also order some Chinese just to pad it out. 12 and 14. Excellent. Top. 12 und also 14. Ja, das ist richtig. Very good mood today. Very, very good mood. Oh, by the way, don't forget, you probably heard this when I said it in other streams, but starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. tomorrow, for the next 3 weeks, every single work day, so Monday to Friday, for the next 3 weeks, I will be doing a premiere at 1 p.m. each weekday of the D'Agostini X-Wing build. They've sent me the next 15 issues, so the build's back on. And I'm filming them 1 episode per issue. Rather than do like a big long live stream or a 2-hour long episode, I'm just filming 1 issue per video. So they're only about 5-10 minutes long or so. But it's starting tomorrow, 1 p.m. every weekday now for the next 3 weeks. And I'm doing them as premieres, which means there'll be a live chat when it premieres. So I'll be hanging out in the live chat. If you're around at 1 p.m. tomorrow or any day during the week for the next 3 weeks, come along and watch. Only 5 or 10 minutes. Some of them about 20 minutes. And join in the live chat. Once it's finished, of course, it'll just be a regular video then with no chat options. But if you want to come and watch premiere, so that's every weekday now at 1 o'clock for the next 3 weeks. Come and watch. I think we're from episode 51 to 65, I think. We're getting there now. We're still working on the wing. So I filmed the first 5. They go live from tomorrow. And then this week I'm working on the next 5. And maybe the remaining 10. My project for tomorrow and onwards is to crack on with those. 5, don't need to do 5 more. They're only little shorty things. But I thought it'd be more fun to do them as little premieres, just because then you can hang out in the chat for 5 or 10 minutes and we can have a laugh. While I fumble to screw... Oh, watching me screwing things together, like you've got the screwdriver and you're trying to like attack... Oh, it's like... Because I've been drinking coffee all day, I've got the thing there and I'll be like, right, now I'm going to screw this screw in. Where's the screw? Oh, I can't... Oh, there's the screw. Fumbling, it's ridiculous. terrible. It's partially because I'm having. It's partially because I've got my lenses on and I'm not close enough to see anything in focus very well. Because I can't get close enough to see what I'm doing because of the camera. So partly it's I can't see really very well, and partly I just I've not got the right glasses on. Partly I've had too much damn coffee, and like I can't find the screw for the screwdriver. No, the screwdriver kind of goes near the screw and then works its way around it and centers in on the middle of it. It's quite funny to watch. Unless, of course, it's just a sign I'm developing some debilitating motor disease. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just coffee and old eyes. Yes. Bit done. What is grieved cleaned up. But yes, 1 PM every weekday now for the next 3 weeks. Timothy says, I think I'll stop at Buffet Asia in a bit when I go to IKEA. You, yes. Do you know, technically, in the same way that, Meng models that make the Meng model kits, that we pronounce it wrong because it's supposed to be Mung. Apparently, we're all saying IKEA wrong as well because it's supposed to be IKEA. In Finnish or whatever it is, it's IKEA. IKEA, not IKEA. But because we all say it wrong, it'd be harder now to get everybody to say it right than it would be just to accept that we all say it wrong and call it IKEA. But it is apparently IKEA. Just thought I'd tell you that for no reason at all. Because on my show, it's not, if you don't learn at least one thing each week, then I'm not doing my job. Removal to start with. Look at the nebularity. Probably won't get any of this assembled by the time the show finishes this week. This chap will be carrying on next week, I suspect. On the shoulder, that's fine because they're easy to remove. Easy McPeasy pants. Easy McPeasy. Yeah. Fox is in a great mood. We will soon change that. Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll do your best. I'll post the results on Tefesta's group page about his food, and Sarah Jane says that's no good. I need to taste it and give my expert opinion. I need to get a Detolf glass display or two from IKEA. I'm going to start saying it, I should annoy you, says Candygram. They are really good. For like 45 quid or whatever they are, they're really great. I mean, they don't store a lot. They're quite tall. You've got like I don't know, about, you can't see it on camera, it's about a good couple of feet between shelves. I've got 1, 2, you only get 3 plus the bottom floor shelf. Well, you could probably cobble together somehow to add more, but I don't know how. But yes, they're really good. They're for like 40 quid. Absolutely worth it. Look. I bet it works, so I'll catch the reruns. Fox. Cool. Learn something, Fox? Have I got that low? Yeah, if you learn something from me, then I'm doing my job right. Yeah. But if you're coming to me for all your learnings, that's pretty desperate. If it's only me you learn things from, then yeah. It's not exactly quality education or relevant. Like, for example, I can teach you what the little plastic bit on the end of your shoelace is called. It's called an aglet. Just so you know. It's not useful. It's not practical. You'll never use it, but it's something you've learned today. Something I learned many years ago and then never forgot. Aglet. Today's word, aglet. Why is it called an aglet? Probably French. Probably blame the French. It's probably their fault. Most of our stupidest words probably come from the French. Although we do have a habit of just totally using French words for no real valid reason whatsoever. Like, nobody really knows why we call a dead end a cul-de-sac. Bottom of the bag, as it's called. It translates from the French. Why do we call it a cul-de-sac? It's like as if the French started calling their cul-de-sacs, I don't know, cat's ass. Weird choice. Bottom of the bag, bottom of the sack. What was it got to do with bags? And this is 1930s British town planning for you. People are idiots. Clearly 1930s British town planners. Okay. That mould line. Are we on camera? Almost. Barely. Now, you've seen me do this before, but if you're making Space Marines and you want to clean the mould line out of the little rubber undersuit ribbing, get your scribing tool, run it along the recess. It very neatly and cleanly gets rid of that mould line from inside the ribbed bit. I didn't do this on that gun, by the way, on the Walker, because it was too deep a gap to easily do with that. It would look good. Hey lady. For some reason he's doing his Professor Frink again. Hey lady, stop with the hitting and the hurting. Glaven. I can't really do it. If I do that silly voice, I have to do it loudly, and I can't really do it loudly because I'll kill the microphone. The Glaven. The running and the hitting and the screaming and the Glaven. Hey. I learn from others and learn for others. I'll start again. Eon Scar says, learn from others and learn by yourself. And I blame, in a good way, Phineas and Ferb for putting aglet in my head. Ooh. I come from a family of teachers. Last thing I want is someone else learning me things. I mean, how to say teaching you things rather than learning you things. Because I can't learn you anything, but I can teach you something. Ha ha ha, you hate me now. You hate me now. I'm in a cul-de-sac. You're in the bottom of the bag. Everything sounds very exotic when it's French, but when you realise what the translations actually are, sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, that was a dumb choice. Oh, I live in a cul-de-sac. You mean you live in the bottom of a bag? What? Absolutely. I love it. We British, we're so weird. Anything foreign, we just think of sometimes as a little bit classy, and therefore we adopt it without realising fully of the consequences of our actions. Ramifications. I'm trying to think now desperately of other things where we've kind of co-opted words and names from other languages and that sound really good, but when you realise what that actually means, it's not that good. I can't think of any now. Kangaroo is a classic, although it's kind of an urban. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not. It's one of those like historical urban myths. Apparently, the first settlers in Australia or explorers asked the indigenous guy who was showing them around. They pointed at a kangaroo and said, "What's that?" And he said, "It's kangaroo." Apparently, what he was saying was, "I don't know. What's that called?" Kangaroo. It means I don't know. I don't know what it's called. And we thought that was the name of it, so we called it. But I don't know if that's true. Anybody Australian who knows, it's probably not true. It's probably apocryphal. I'm sure kangaroo doesn't mean I don't know in the native tongue. Might do. It's a funny story. What's that? Kangaroo. That's called a kangaroo. And the guy's like, "What? No, you're an idiot. What?" I think of other things that have got spanky sounding names that are actually really not that spanky. Let me know in chat if you can think of any. There are some great examples. They all escape me right now at the moment, which is kind of annoying. I did that on purpose. You need to get out more, Fox. Kind of can't at the minute. Kind of not really something I can do for various reasons that you all know. Cul-de-sac means dead end. It actually means bottom of the bag. Sack is sack or bag. Cul-de means the end of or the bottom of. The direct translation will be bottom of the bag. We mean it. We use it to suggest to simulate to what's the word? We use it to name a dead end. Even the dead end is a kind of stupid name for something. But yeah, cul-de-sac literally means bottom of the bag. You translate it directly. Cul-de-sac is never used in French. I asked my colleagues at work and they looked at me very... Yeah, it's kind of appropriated without even... But then again, you see other languages have weird... I love the things with words like... For example, how many times have you told someone that they're getting on your nerves? And if I said to you, you're getting on my nerves, you'd know exactly what I meant. You'd know that I was annoying you, I was frustrating you, and I need to shut up. You're getting on my nerves. We know what it means. It just makes sense to us. But if I said to you, you're breaking my feet, you'd be like, what? Shut up, you're breaking my feet. And you'd be like, I'm breaking what? I'm not stood on your feet, what? You wouldn't get it. But if you're French, tu casses mes pieds is you're breaking my feet, which is a French phrase that means the same thing as you're getting on my nerves. Tu casses mes pieds. And apparently anyway. And it sounds really, you think, why would you say you're breaking my feet? That doesn't make any sense at all. And because we remember we learned this in French, and I was like, why would they say you're breaking my feet? That's dumb. That's crazy. And it was like, hang on a minute. Is it any more crazy than you're getting on my nerves? That it also makes no sense whatsoever. I love language. Language can be great fun. But you have to look at it with a kind of childlike wonder sometimes. And that's who came up with this crap. Because I'm a pie. A cul-de-sac is a curved bit of street. Yeah, we know what it is in terms of what it's used for in the UK, but in French, that phrase translates as bottom of the bag. It's used over here to mean it's a street that doesn't go anywhere. It's the end of a street, but it's still just a stupid name because why call it the bottom of a bag? It seems the most random thing. It's just the way we do things. We like to appropriate weird stuff sometimes. The English language is full of various appropriated words and phrases. Some of it's wondrous. I mean, it's just the way language evolves and develops. But some of it can be real head scratchers. I'm struggling to think of any right now, but there are some weird things out there. You get on my nerves is one of the things we come up with. Lots of idioms and strange phrases. There's an idiom in German which I particularly like, and I'll probably get it wrong because I'm doing it from memory. Der Fuchs ist schlau und stellt sich dumm. Bei Menschen ist es andersrum. Which, if I've got it right, means something like the fox is smart but pretends to be stupid. But for humans, it's the other way around. When you translate it into English, it doesn't really work. And it's like, I love that. Fox is really smart and pretends to be an idiot. But for humans, it's totally different. And you kind of use it to suggest when you're talking about the other, whether it's, you know, a different culture, a different race, a different group of people, your enemies, whatever, a different office, group of office, whatever it is. You kind of say, I'm smart and I pretend to be an idiot, but for you guys really are just idiots. And I love that. I love looking at idioms and things like that, and phrases and language. It's quite fascinating. I hope I got the pronunciation right. Anybody in chat who's German, do let me know. Sergeant Bones isn't here, he could tell me. Rat on, rat off, rat on, rat off, rat hats. I don't know what that is. I think the translation of Boca Raton, the city of Florida, is something like rat's mouth. Well, the Latin name for a raccoon is raton laveur. Latin name, it's a French word, is raton laveur. Or the French name, I'll start again. The French name for a raccoon is raton laveur, which is, laveur refers to it washing its hands and washing its food. Raton, I don't know if that means rat or something. I don't know what that means in French. So I think Boca Raton is probably obviously a French derivative word. Yeah, it could be a rat's mouth. Look. Scaly Models, I think you may have kicked Peter Dave out by accident, because he's saying something in German. I was asking about strange phrases, and he says, "Du gehst mir auf dem Sack," you are getting on my balls, in German. I don't think he was being rude about me. I think he was just saying a German phrase, because we were talking about German phrases. You might want to unblock him, please. I see what you did. I think you may have jumped the gun a bit there. I mean, come on, he makes the joke himself this morning. I don't know what that's Lord of the Rings. I don't get that. Mouth of the rat, says Edwin Leonard for Raton, Boca Raton. Humans are idiots but pretend to be smart. They like to lie and cheat and then pretend it's real, says Mayhem. Frankie says, you said it perfect, Fox. Wow, cool. That's from memory from many years ago. De Fuchs is schlau. Der sich dumm. It's always the S's that confuse me at the start of because whether it's a Z or an S, we pronounce it. I should explain. I've been living here in France for 14 years. My favourite is Poisson d'avril, literally April fish, or as we say in English, April fool. Boca Raton is indeed Spanish for mouth of the rat. Cool. Coffee? I'm not going to get much done on this, am I? We've got 10 minutes. I think what I'll do, I'm not going to get this assembled now. I've got one leg to do left. I might have finished it, actually. Almost finished it. Getting glued together on a base. Yeah, nah, probably not. No, I've got time, really. I think what we'll do, I'm down for a wee anyway. I think what we shall do, we'll just clean up that little bit there. Then we'll do a little bit of that, and then we're ready then for next week. We can start assembling the dudes. Base puppies. There we go. Bit of mould line going through the little panel in his armour, which is always a pain to clean out. There you go. Thanks, Dad. Peter Davey. Sorry about that. I think Dad thought you were insulting me, but you weren't. Don't worry, Dad. Thank you. You have to watch Dad. He's like a Venus flytrap. There you go. Say something. He'll be on you like stink on a tauntaun. But yes, I think he was just giving me a German idiom. Where are we up to? English doesn't borrow words on occasion. English has pursued other languages down alleyways to beat them unconscious and rifle their pockets for new vocabulary. James Davis Nichol. That sounds like a very Terry Pratchett way to describe it, but yeah, it's true. We don't invent new words. We just invade a country, colonize it, and then take half the language. I'll just say veranda and leave it at that. Yeah. Language is fascinating, though. Time for a wee. Time for a wee. I've got better, I used to go for wees all the time in the middle of streams, but I've got better. I tend to not drink half a litre of coffee before the show starts now, which is always my failing. Mayhem says, sorry, I was listening to Powerman 5000 earlier, no idea what that is, and the song How to Be Human came on, no idea what that is, and it's full of a lot of lines that aptly sum up how stupid humanity is. And Peter Davey says, no, I was not being mean, I can just speak German, it's a nice chappy, honest. Yeah, don't worry about it, Pete. Dad was just being protective. Thank you, Dad. He was just being protective of me. Because all my mods, we're all kind of mod each other's channels, and we all look out for each other. And we all take care, and if we think at any moment anyone's being a bit of a spoon, we'll jump on them because we all look out for each other. But yes, I understood what you were talking about. I saw your comment, and it was like, I think Dad thought he was having a go at me there. No harm, no foul. Because I had to read it twice. I'm like, oh, hang on, is that a me, or is that an idiom, or are you saying that to me? Der Fuchs ist schlau. Yeah, it's always the S's that get me. Some S's start as S and some are pronounced as Z. So I know Stelt is SH, but sich is SI. Yeah, I get it. I kind of learned. I didn't really do German at school. It's okay, Dad's got one of them itchy trigger fingers, says Mayhem. Spess puppers pupping through the spess, throw them at a giant bone and they'll get off their face. Sorry, I had that in my head to Star Trekking song, says Mayhem. Yes, I can't sing it, but yes. Scaly Model says, sorry, Peter, my mistake. No worries. Everybody give Dad lots of dad hugs. Everybody in chat, just give, in fact, everybody stop what you're doing and just give lots of dad hugs, please. Dad's lovely. We all love Dad. everybody throw dad hugs at Dad. I'll glue this guy together. Might as well. I've got a few minutes. We'll get a stand. Going to make a stand. I'm not going to make a stand. I'm going to make a better. And these require the regular bases. There you go. Panzer Koenig throwing some dad hugs out. Everybody just do dad hugs now for a bit, please. Oh, hang on. 40mm. Oh, okay. Wait, that's the wrong one. 30mm. Yes. Wait, what? No. 32mm. Yes, regular. There we go. Fox, you're an idiot. God damn it. Handy I like this. Handy base diameter guide. But yes. I've not done that before. There you go. Everybody's doing the hey, no big deal. Who doesn't have a protective dad? Dad is everybody's protective dad. Just imagine going on a first date with, with a daughter of a son of his. Would you even get in the door? I don't know. Right, let's see if we can quickly get these combled together. Sarah Jane says he has to earn it first. Dad has earned all the hugs over many years. Dad's one of those rare people that instantly gets hugs without question. There's no such earning. Dad has a lifetime subscription to hugs. Because he's Dad. I should clarify for anybody who's new in chat, by the way, he's not actually my dad. Not related. We call him Dad because he's everybody's dad. That's his name, Dad. These legs go there like that. I think I know how to build Primaris by now. It's not particularly complicated. He says about trying to jam the foot into the crotch. It's a little bit complicated then, isn't it? Dad hugs, ever vigilant as always. Peter Davey shows you that mod's mod. There you go. Hugs to Dad, says KBZ. Dad hugs, says Edward. Nim Cinderin says hugs. Yep, everybody's throwing the hugs at Dad. Lynn, of course, sends lots and lots of hugs Dad's way. Because that's how it works. Glue that on there. Quite like making Primaris Marines, because they're not hard to clean up. And they're not hard to build. They kind of look... I prefer them to the old Marines, because old Marines are a bit fat and 1980s looking to me. They're a bit weird. Whereas with Primaris Marines, they look like there's an actual human-shaped person inside. Albeit like 8.5 foot tall, but shut up. The legs on. Lol Fox, foot to the gooch. I don't know what that means. This one is that one. I have no idea what a gooch actually is. So my knowledge of current slang is not ideal. Can go on there. I do like the way these greaves go on. Now, before we go, of course, importantly, I don't know who's on tonight. Dad and Colin. I assume you guys are on at 6 o'clock. So when I've finished in a few moments, Dad, of course, Scaly Models, will be on along with Colin over on Dad's channel, Scaly Models, for the in-between show. But I assume tonight, I think it's Chris over at Gross Models, but I'm not sure. If someone can tell me, Dad, if you know in chat, it's either going to be Chris or Ted, or both. I think it was both last week, so I think it's Chris this week on his channel, but I don't know for sure. If someone can tell me in chat using words, that'll be at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to end here. That was Dad's reminder. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Go and watch Dad now on the Collins, not again, on the Scaly Models channel. I'll be back next week, of course. I'll be back tomorrow. So remember, 1 PM tomorrow. live premiere of the X-Wing build. I'll be back next Friday for more on the eModels channel for more Big Imperial Knight. We're back next Saturday here for more Skyrim, and then next Sunday for more Warhammer. We'll carry on with him. But until then, don't forget, of course, if you'd like to support this channel, please do consider it by going to patreon.com/modelmakingguru. The address is there. And becoming a channel supporter, or by just pressing the join button underneath any one of my videos to become a channel member. Either way, you get access to early content, you get advert-free content, and some exclusive bits and bobs. And you also help keep this channel alive and support it directly, and it makes you wonderful. So take care of yourselves. I'll jump off now so you can go and switch over to Dad's channel. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until then, I'll make sure my buttons are working.
Slap it on.
Yes, buttons confirmed. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Adios, amoebas.